at the end there, so that did get elimination done nevertheless. But as we look on towards the rest of the circle here, I think it was quite crucial for these teams to still take compounds rather than just open air spaces on the hilltop, because I think just having that as a fallback base, as a fallback plan, is a lot more important really than just having the vantage
Selamat
point.
buat Hiraton 5,
chicken
lucky, chicken lucky.
Yes, so it's also subjective to your skill set, right? Like
yeah.
Some players, they might be comfortable with the long range, some players are a little bit more comfortable with the short range. So it really depends on the scenario as well. But anyway, that was a really good round. I felt that in that round we had a lot of variable type of plays, especially with the e-pickup play. I think that was kind of new. Normally, e-pickup is used as a travel tool per se, and then by dropping, it's like, okay, you just hope for the best that no one's in the area. But I'm not sure, was that intentional or deliberate, that they knew that someone's there and then they want to take over that high ground. But either way, it was a good move there to use that e-pickup to go to a prime position that is normally very hard to get if you go on foot.
Yeah, I think I guess like a team like number one probably was also really had not much to lose. Again, you know, they were kind of like struggled a lot during the group stage. Couldn't even get themselves into final fights a lot. So I suppose, and given that the e-pickup as well is a brand new item, I expect they're also trying to get a feel for how can they use this, you know, not just as a defensive tool, but also offensively potentially. Did manage to get a bit of success to take control over the hilltop. We'll see whether or not other teams will be picking up on that kind of strat, but I just still feel that the risk factor of dropping in on parachute while in the middle of a hotly contested zone, I think is a little bit too high to consider it an effective tool for an offensive capability. But nevertheless, I think just from a strategic positional standpoint, certainly is another one of those tools that the team could use.
Yeah, it reminds me of like an army's paratroopers.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you land and then you just shoot whoever there's it, and it will clear out the whole area. So, but anyway, it looked good.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's intentional or not, I guess only the players can tell us.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a really good round as well. So now we're done with Miramar. Yep, we'll be moving to Tego after this, which is one of my favorite maps. But of course, before that, we'll need to review the scores again. But Tego, it's my favorite map for now. I think it's still up for exploration on how teams will maximize the capability of that map. And as far as we've seen the Tegos for the past 3 days, it's like you don't know what to expect. Will there be like in one compound 3 teams drop and duke it out with each other? We don't know yet. But we'll leave that conversation for later. Let's check out the scores for now from that previous round. And I believe that T5 definitely, they're still on top.
I definitely think so. I mean, at least overall score-wise, but certainly with this kill point of 12 here, that's also a very handy result here for T5 to ensure they maintain the top spot right now. We wouldn't necessarily be able to see the overall scoreboard by the end of this. We probably might see it by the end of the day, but I think T5 has done very well to make a case for themselves why they probably would be the team to beat right now on this first day of the Last Chance qualifier, because you know, taking chicken dinners back to back, that's not an easy feat, especially against teams this competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only competitive, these teams, they are fighting for their lives because it will be elimination by the end of tomorrow. So that's why I think some of these teams, that they have it in their mind. So that's why getting the chicken dinner is harder than it looks, essentially.
Yeah, I'm still surprised to see that like NGE didn't quite perform well in this round here. They've only managed to secure 2 kills, and that's only enough for 12 plays, just ahead of like Red Sea, still behind, or rather just on par with Global Esports Exit there. PMA, I'm also surprised that they only got 1 kill point. I thought they at least got 2 or 3 in that fight, but it doesn't seem like they did get some knockdowns, but it didn't look like they were able to translate that into points for themselves, although they did manage to get 1 placement for their own. EXO Clan, at least this is going to be a good round for them, you know, kill wise, because they at least were able to get 4, but nevertheless it's not enough for them if they want to try to keep up with the with T5 for one, for teams AAA and Deadly Strike as well, you know, having 14 and 10 points respectively, are certainly representing a bit of a competition right now between Thailand and these other regions.
Yeah, I'm just looking over at number one. I think that they only got like what 2 placement points, but 11 kill points. It's just 1 point below T5, but they shot themselves up to the top 3 finish inside of this round. So again, it just shows that the importance of kill points. If you're able to get placement points, great. But kill points, pretty much they overrode a lot of these other teams.
Yeah, I think maybe to your point, like they expect whatever they're trying to do with that e-pickup or whatever things that are just going towards this strategy of just basically go out and try to kill everybody, you know, that you encounter. So that seems to be paying off right now from number one, who, you know, mind you, had struggled a lot during the group stage and couldn't even get up in the top 16, much less the grand finals. So great to see that they finally have a bit of resurgence now. I mean, better late than never, isn't it? You know, this is literally the last chance qualifier, so last opportunity for number one to just get some points in.
Yeah, mathematically they have a better chance as compared to the group stage, 50% versus 33. But this time around, looks like we're gonna have a look at the overall results, ladies and gentlemen, before we head on to the break. So the overall results, I think number one is gonna be pretty obvious by now.
Yeah, I want to see who's number two, number three. So it looks like AAA and PLM. Purple Mood getting themselves up in the top 3 here. So it's an all Thailand top 3 actually. I have to mention this here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So with T5, AAA as well as PLM taking that top spot. Number one from Vietnam is now the best Vietnam team in terms of points right now. The 11 kill points, enough to keep themselves up in the 4th place there. I'm also surprised to see that like Deadly Strike and E36 are not doing too bad either, getting themselves in the 5th and 6th spot respectively here with 11 and 12 points. So it's still relatively close. Definitely up in the top 3. It's getting quite far. And Dirt on 5 again with 2 chicken dinners. It's going to be quite the act to follow for everyone else now.
Yeah, just looking away at EXO Clan, I think they have the least care of all this. Like, we just go and shoot whatever that we see in front of us. That's why no placement points so far, but their kill points. 9 kill points, 9 points just out of that. And you can't think about it mathematically, they're only like 1 point behind NEC, which is just by the borderline of the grand final stage bracket. So, and 2 points behind Red Sea, 2 points behind E36. So far looking good for EXO Clan. It's just a matter of, again, you need to be super consistent because you're playing for the long run.
Yeah. Again, I mean, yeah, we did say that having a lot more weightage now, obviously the kill point, but I think like EXO Clan also has to think a little bit harder about how they're taking some fights because, you know, if I recall correctly, they were stuck on the first floor where other teams basically ran on top and just overrun them. Nevertheless, that's enough for us talking about Miramar right now. We're going to be taking a short break, but when we come back, match number 3 Taego is going to be a go, so make sure you stick around for that. That will happen right after this break, so don't go away.
Welcome to the update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on Erangel, Miramar, and Destin. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth it. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace-32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
The latest game from Krafton and 5min Lab. Fast pace and full intense PvP action brawler game. Use your best combo to send your opponent to the lobby. Select your legends and be the winner. Pick the mode that suits your fighting style, from 1v1, 2v2 to Battle Royale. Available to download and play free on Play Store, App Store and Steam. Let's be legends today!
Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on Erangel, Miramar, and Destin. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace-32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
Serius. Chicken berturut-turut ngono ya. Ya iku mau. Marathon 5. Ini Indo, lo kan last chance. Kesempatan terakhir. Babak kesempatan terakhir iki. Iki gak mlebu 5 besar ya. Besok mlebu grand final. Ya jane jatahe mek siji Indonesia iki. Tuh.
The latest game
Kurang
from
piro ya,
Krafton
kurang
and 5min Lab.
Ngekill mek
Fast
siji pisan.
pace and full intense PvP action brawler game.
Hah? Ya karena memang jam terbangnya mulai kuwong time njupuk
Use your
nganu
best combo
nyomot-nyomot.
to send your opponent to the lobby.
Campur-campur ya. Gak koyo biasa.
Select your legends and be the winner.
Pemain pensi di kelompok no. Iku, bad coffee.
Pick the mode that suit your fighting style. From 1v1, 2v2 to Battle Royale. Available to download and play free on Play Store, App Store, and Steam. Let's be legends today!
Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on Erangel, Miramar, and Destin. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the PUBG Asia Super Cup 2023 Summer Edition. My name is ketik. Joining me here is Sir Cloud. We've already witnessed 2 rounds on Miramar so far, so you know what that means. It's going to be up on your favorite map.
Oh yeah, Tego! My goodness, it's going to be great after this because it's a smaller map and we don't really know what teams are going to do because we only played, what, 3 Tego so far? Even that, it's a shuffled group. So now with this new group of teams, we still wouldn't know what they might do.
I know, so this is going to be interesting as well because this is the last chance qualifier. These teams, you know, they had a little bit of experience playing for it, but in this format...
Dah, kok hilang suara nih? Mana? Mana suaranya kok hilang? Lihat nih guys, monitornya guys, Zoe. Yang ini Zoe, yang ini kayaknya kalau nggak Asus ya Dell ini. Oke, ini mereka di game house. Kursinya sudah pasti kursi gaming semua, meskipun kita nggak tahu seperti apa ya. Ini masing-masing monitornya beda-beda ini. Dibikin senyaman mungkin lah kalau
to see
serius
how
ya
these players
begitulah
really
kira-kira.
fare somewhere around the ears of Wolsong, Heimosa, that kind of place. I think that'll be pretty fun. If not, Harpo would be pretty nice as well.
Yeah, I'm also hoping the circle doesn't end up, being cut in half by the edge of the map. It's what happened yesterday itself. But nevertheless, it's a new day, it's a new opportunity. It's going to be fresh faces all about for some of these teams here. But nevertheless, the chances for them, it's all going to bank upon the decisions they make once they jump out of that plane. So that path is going to be coming from the southeast all the way to the northwest. Not exactly splitting the map in half, but still decent enough because it offers opportunities for the team to decide, do I want to take onto the mainland or do I want to try to take my chances on the island?
Ooh, but look at this. I'm looking over at the mini-map, and we got like
Pesawat.
3 teams hovering around the same area, so that will be interesting. Where will be their landing spot? T5, of course, they are the team to beat for now. But anyway, it's all about getting the top 8. It doesn't matter whether you're number 1 or not. But T5, they are really, really hot. They got a good amount of kills per round. They got 2 chicken dinners. I mean, there's nothing much more that you can ask for from this team.
I know. I mean, I guess the only thing I ask for, I suppose, is to maintain the lead. I think it's the main thing they're going to be looking forward to today, and you can do that either by kind of like denying some teams like position, but you can also do so, by just hoarding kills for themselves. But hot drops coming in here, Purple Mood as well as Positive Mental Attitude dropping in the same zone at the same time. T5 has almost gotten into the counter with Starlo for E36, but that doesn't seem to have come to pass. Really want to see what's going to be happening with this Purple Mood versus PMA fight though. Looks like they're only just really struggling to try to find some weapons. Donna Watt, first one to get knocked down here. Doesn't bode too well for PLM right now.
Oh, I mean, Purple Moon Esports, they are a team with a lot of firepower in them. They're up there because of their firepower. If they were to go out at this point, it's going to be tough. But let's see. We know that they can come back here. They have the firepower. And they're going to start off with Thunders, trading it back out to Teddy, and Teddy taking out the game.
Yep, it looks like PLM is going to get slowly but surely wiped from this area here. The palace has a lot of like open ground along with like buildings, so you're never exactly secure, even when you might think you are, because there's a lot of spaces from which all these kind of guys can kind of pop around. I do love sort of like the Korean theme that's going on here. It's a lot different than the type of the resort, for example. That's the first thing to say thing about in Sandhawk. This is a lot more markedly different type of battleground here, and that circle going up to onto the island. So I guess those teams decide to jump off late are certainly in a huge advantage now. T5 literally right in the middle of the circle now. So I don't know. I'm thinking that they perhaps will be able to defend the lead for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they bought the circle or something. Not sure what happened. What did they do to get that? But anyway, it's their luck for now. But let's see if they can defend it. But at least we're also getting a very different circle this time. It's on that small island. So I'm looking forward to see how this island will be played out.
I wonder how much you have to bribe Sergey in order to be able to make the blue zone come your way, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. I guess lots of drumsticks.
Lots of drumsticks indeed. Yeah. Anyways, Thunder's hiding around on the rocks here while Snox29 seems to have the same idea to try to take the side, but I think Thunder's, he's a little bit lacking in range, so he will spot Snox29.
Oh, nice.
Yes, the drop onto him though, taking him out completely. So that didn't quite work out well for Snox. PMA now down one man here. He's going to be eliminated from the mat, in fact, by Thunders now. So the fight still continues on. PLM having taken control over the northern part of the palace here. An attempt by PMA to flank them just really ended with like one conceded kill.
Well, Purple Moon Esports, they are still showing what sort of firepower they have within them. Despite them losing one player, Tanawa, but they're still able to fend off PMA. And now PMA, they're not interested to take this fight away. Totally understandable because they don't have the manpower. Pete hoping to get away to safety, grabs a vehicle, but look, he's getting close. Fire, Pete! One last hit on him and you'll be down.
Oh, he's just running and running and running away. Can't even put him in as much distance as he can from the palace. Looks like he should be home free right now. And actually, he's going to be running to the path straight away of some care packages that we've just found. So now, PMA should be able to peel away. Seems like PLM will have control of the palace after all. And that's going to be good news for the Purple Mood squad.
Oh, and he's going to get 3 care packages if he chooses to stick by, if he chooses to go there. But looks like the answer is nope. Oh, but Hakai, hang on. Wait on a second, Hakai. Hakai, heat is coming. Oh!
Your face, Hakai finishing up the kill as well. So it looks like PMA has just gotten out of the frying pan and into the fire now, because now only one member of them still remain, and that's going to be a very, very lonely few phases for him now.
Imagine how devastated he must have felt after that. He thought he got away, but no. But anyway, now we got
versus 310.
GX. Here we go, 1v1.
Xavier had almost thinking about going for the flash, but then Wesker is right on the door. He breaks the door down in order to get the kill straight away. That's a big brain move I've ever seen one. Guello is attempting to run in there, but Xavier gets a good spray down, putting him in a lot of pressure as well. Yuri will be able to finish off Guello. Leo has been taken out by Goni in the meantime on the outside, but the 2 members of 310 has managed to get themselves flanked around the right-hand side. So Upchen has a frag grenade ready to meet any of the attackers deciding to come into the compound, but then Kine is going to be taking a slower approach right now, just making sure that the outside of the perimeter is secured here, which doesn't seem to be so, because the doorway on the right-hand side is making it hard for them to get the jump onto them. In fact, the door is going to open up by Xavier, and Kai's going to pop right in, and it gets a knockdown onto the member of GX now, and 310 still holds around the outside.
Oh, and Kane is still alive. Kane still needs to win this fight, and it's going to be Kane taking them all out.
Nice one there from 310, literally baiting them to try to come out to fight. I mean, again, the problem was that Yuri had been taken out on the outside, but look who's coming here. A new challenger has appeared on the field, and it's going to Unicorn Venom. They have all 4 members still up, so 310 might just be in a spot of trouble here.
Oh no, Velo got to reset quickly because Sapao and Co wants to get some of that.
Skull straight onto Vuelo, so he's immediately taken out. Keen and Goni and the last 2 members remaining, but Unicorn Venom rapidly moving into the convenience store. Will take down Goni. Now Sapao is going to come in front, gets a spray.
Bam!
And Kaden will take out 310 Rascal Jesters.
Oh man, 310, just when they wanted to celebrate that win, immediately Unicorn Venom had to come, and that's going to be 4 points for Unicorn Venom. And not only that, they are at the edge of the circle, at the edge of the island, together with the compound. It's going to be a good place for them to defend.
A good place indeed. Right now we're with Newhouse Esports. Looks like Attack All Around has just given them the slip, so Hoan is going to go ahead and keep going towards the prison here to hopefully get some whatever loot is still left behind. I think they, along with number 1, who was also just getting around to the bridge there, looking like might be gatekept by another team here.
Oh!
Newhouse Esports' Joy, who is holed up by the bridge here, finds Neo and will be able to take him out. Virtue 22222 has already been taken out as well, so Lambao is going to try to use the Jeep to try to get out towards near where the water is, rather underneath the bridge. Seems like he's able to give Newhouse Esports a slip, so at least Team 1 has a member still alive.
Oh, but Lambao has to leave his teammate behind. Zico, not too sure where he is, but maybe he had to bail him.
Is he on board there? I can't quite see.
Oh yeah, he's on board.
I'm not sure whether I couldn't quite see inside the car, so I couldn't tell if he's on board. But I would assume that he will want to ride along with Lambao through there. PLM not quite done with this assault here. Looks like they find Ronaldo, who had to jump out to the outside here, almost get the drop on his end, but the Thunder is going to come through the doorway.
Whoa!
But Ronaldo will catch a stray from the outside there for Van by NGE, and he will actually be taken out completely here by bots, so that actually didn't work out well. But T5, they just lost one of the most important members on the squad.
Yes, a very important one. He's always the last man to survive for the team. But anyway, well, they got a lot of points by now. If whatever happens to T5 in this round, I don't think it's a big impact to their overall.
Exactly. So PLM definitely will be able to savor this by having full reign to loot this apartment now. So that's certainly going to allow them to get some good health packs and definitely smoke grenades or throwables, whatnot that could potentially use in the final phase here. The rest of Theraton 5 though going to be holed up in this little village by the roadside, and that's going to allow them to basically stay out of trouble for the most part. One call in the meantime deciding to make the call to get up on the hill here. Plenty of vegetation because this is pretty much what the Korean landscape of Taego provides for them, and that's going to allow them to cover their movements for most people. Although now we're going to be on with Red Sea Esports. We've seen that spot Exo Clan doing the same thing on their side of the forest.
Yeah, but Red Sea Esports, Papazai probably got the outer queue, but he doesn't have a good vision. Like what you said, vegetation here is just lush, so it's hard for him to pinpoint exactly where his opponents are at. Exo Clan, they'll be happy on the other side. I mean, it's a significant gap between them and Red Sea, so don't expect Red Sea to really chase on.
Yeah, and in fact, like Exo Clan has already, being across the street like that, I don't think it's going to be easy for Red Sea to try to get a jump on them anyway. If anything, it's just most likely going to be who's going to get the pick off first. Should they try to get an encounter? Dean, in any case, is going to try to back up Papa Zai should Exo Clan decide to make a move on Red Sea themselves, but I don't think they're going to be too interested in that. It seems like Goobert is looking to try to take control over the higher point here, and that's going to probably help them a lot more. But nevertheless, Red Sea does still open fire though, so Exo Clan at least knows a squad is lurking nearby, so that might actually change their plan a little bit.
And T5 seems to be heading to another team earlier on onto the high ground on the right side. And here we have visual on the T5. They're going up against E36. E36 has visual, but T5, without the man advantage, they're not interested in the fight.
Maybe, or just rather they just wrecking around, just seeing what shots it can kind of like draw out from any other teams that hold up inside the forest. And that is going to be one way potentially to scout actually, because by hearing those audio cues, you figuring where these gunshots come from, you have a rough idea of like where some squads might be holed up in. So they're just going to be looking for another complex, I think, to try to hold. And given that's been the pattern for the last two chicken dinners, I think they want to see whether or not they can repeat the same thing here on Taego.
Yeah, so far so good, whatever they're doing, and now they're kind of safe. It's just that unfortunately they'll be playing the rest of the round with 3 players, but that's okay. At the end of the day, they still got a good amount of points for the 2 rounds that they have played, so it's fine. But we can see that within this circle, this is the first time we're getting this circle in a competitive match. A lot of teams seems to really want to rush in for this forest.
Hasawat and the rest of T5 still on the move though, and looks like it might be bumping into Red Sea as Rossestead Jr. is pops out the window there to meet anyone who decides to pick any shots against them. And I think like Red Sea definitely will be hearing the engine sounds coming their way as well, so maybe just might be lying in wait for ambush. Attack all around, picks up an E pickup here, and using that to I think get to the coast, which I think I've seen them do that before in the last Taego map here. So let's see whether or not this is going to work out well for them. Last time round, they were caught in the hot seat. So has Parker Paul because he's just been knocked down here. Red Sea already getting the jump on the T5 very early on. This is looking really bad for the Thai squad.
Okay. They could be eliminated by Red Sea, but they're still Rossestead. He can still kind of get away, but oh man, look at the minimap. The rest of Red Sea is coming in. He might not have an exit route after this.
He may not. In fact, with like Red Sea circling around here, they sense the blood and the water right now, and Rossestead is just bleeding out along with the rest of his team. The last, he's just been spotted by Zayed, so now they know they've been locked inside the house here. So Red Sea Esports, a fantastic opportunity for them to take out the team that's on top of the leaderboard here. A frag grenade is going to be sent out around here. Can't quite pop into where Rossestead Jr. is, but again, he's watching in the doorway. He sees Mr. Flang and sees Dean. He almost had an opportunity to get a pot shot, but didn't quite take the shot there, unfortunately. And Zayed is going to come around and flank the side. Mr. Flang in the meantime sends a frag grenade into the building, does do a little bit of damage. Rossestead only comes out to be caught out by Dean, and that will be the end of T5's run here on Taego.
Well, that's going to be 3 points for Red Sea. Defended their compound, but now they have one call coming in. Jaxi managed to get knocked down to Papazai, and with that knockdown, one call could make the call to rush in.
I mean, it's effectively a 2v2, right? Unless they are unless the revive does come true here from Mr. Fan with Dean, but they're still stuck in their respective parts of the building here. Nevertheless, for this next fight here, the circle still lands on top of them, so they can at least focus right now on trying to get the eliminations done here. One call will be sending whatever's left of the grenades now in order to try to obscure the area. Smoke grenades all abound here from Red Sea to try to obscure where exactly Papa Zai is, but Jexi actually finds a shot from the side there and takes out Papa Zai, so now Red Sea is down to these two now, Mr. Flank as well as Dean, as now the rest of One Call is joining them with joining them on the top of the hill.
And speaking about joining, E36 wants to join in. They pull out a couple of shots onto Red Sea, putting pressure onto them. And now One Call's making the call. They're going to come in from the other side of the building, and they want to rush in. They want this compound. They want the point.
Chibirit as well as Simoy now joining Trick as they assault the compound here. They still have plenty of troubles to go. Simoy still has three smoke grenades, a frag as well as a Molotov, so he can certainly try afford to spend quite a bit coming onto Red Sea here. Dean still holding up, camping by the corner here, waiting for anyone from One Call to decide to pop in there. Dean, in the meantime, is on the outside here. Can't quite spot the rest of One Call through the smoke at the moment. Mr. Flank still on the other building there. Number one is also joining into the fight here. Dean spots a Chibirit, goes for the spray, but doesn't quite get a knockdown. Now has to run through the smoke now, putting himself in a precarious position here. But One Call can't quite spot him yet, so Dean's a little bit safer now, but frag grenades are still coming through to try to flush him out. They flush him out, they did. Chibirit almost gets in trouble.
Dean!
But Dean
Dean!
takes him out completely.
Dean, beautiful from Dean, but he's not out of it just yet. 10 health left for Dean. He needs to reset quickly. Now, tossing out the stun grenade just to buy time for himself. But no, Dean loses the fight, and it's going to be Chimoy that takes him out.
Oh, Chibirit actually found his teammate Mr. Flank on the other side, and Jexi was providing a bit of a flanking maneuver as well, joining in with this assault on the compound. So now Redzi has been eliminated here. It seems like that's going to be the pattern here. While other teams are now crowding around this circle here, we're on board with Purple Moon Esports, who seem to have spotted Sun Sisters just opposite the road from them, busy looting, I expect. Number one and E36, they were lurking close by to where One Call was, but it seems like they may have encountered each other because Sylvia is just scanning the tree line right now, trying to see if he can spot anyone, either Scout or someone else.
Oh.
Frag grenade is going to come his way, but Lambao Wu was just in front of the tree, just in front of him, and then actually gets knocked out of the hit instead. Starlord will be able to come from the back there to keep Lambao Wu under pressure, but unfortunately, he'll duck off there with 1% of health left, but Lambao Wu will be caught out with XK1 from the flanking side, and that will be the end of team number one.
Well, E36 managed to win this fight, so they got 2 kills in the bag. E36 at this point, they're currently at number 5, are doing pretty okay, but they could use more points in order to secure their top 8 position. But here we have SST going up against Purple Moon Esports, a team that has a lot of firepower, and if they were to go up against them, it's going to be scary. But anyway, the both.
Kok hilang suaranya? Suaranya hilang, guys, komentator.
To New House Esports here. It looks like they had gotten the counter with AAA, and unfortunately, Tridoy has to run away and abandon the rest of his team here. It looks like Attack All Around will have control over this northern side right now. No other team's going to be providing resistance from them from here on out, but it's still taking no chances at all. We use the frag grenades to just blow up these cars here to make sure there's no one else hiding behind. One trick will find Tridoy actually, because he just ran straight into the middle of this compound that One Call had just taken away. from team number 1 early on. So it looks like that actually turned out bad from bad to worse there from New House Esports.
Ooh, New Generation Esports on the other hand is still on the outside circle. SST is moving onto them, and behind them there's another team coming as well. So they need to be prepared to fight, and fight they will. Hawkeye will be at the forefront. Hawkeye tries to spot out where his opponents are at, but they have the high ground against him.
Yep, Deadly Strikes 3 members. They will find Hawkeye. Should be able to finish him off with no pressure whatsoever because of rest of NGE compound. But then Bevan actually takes out Mild Rush when he attempts to try to move down. Fob is attempting to try to hold his own as well, but it's under heavy fire coming from Deadly Strikes' area. Damplu is going to be moving out with the car, and Borbo's and PLM also.
Here we go!
And Fob does get a knockdown. The Thunders for the Blue Zone crowds around him now, and that's not going to be enough. He's going to be taken out by Fluky, who comes in from behind.
Oh, Purple Moon Esports, they got a couple of kills there, but they're not out of this just yet. They need to get into the circle. Right now, there's more teams inside of it. How is Fluky going to get out of this? He's still on the outside of the circle, moves slightly away, but that slightly has a road in between him and the circle. It's going to be hard.
One Call is also trying to get in the mix too. Trick is going up in front. He knows that Crazy Boy might be just in that area here, so he sends a frag grenade down that way. He sends another grenade to see whether or not he can flush them out a bit. And again, Deadly Strikes down to that last member there. He's trying to get the revives going for his team now, but with DLM providing some pressure from down below here, and One Call now also getting to the mix here. This is looking like a very dangerous, precarious position here. But Deadly Strike frag grenades almost catching that last member there. Hopefully we will get on board there, but Trick is going to be running away there. PLM's frag grenades do finally connect on the Crazy Boy, taking him out completely, and Deadly Strike is out in 8th place.
Oh, but PLM, look at this. They're not done yet. They're still ranking in the kills. PLM somehow still survive, but now their next challenge is to get into the circle. SST is waiting right in front of them, and they need to get across the road. And after they get across the road, they have One Call waiting for them.
They have One Call waiting for them, and SST as well, holding the other side. So they have 2 teams to kind of deal with. And AAA as well is getting to a scrap with Exo Clan. Looks like Gobert is a little bit too low. Imhawk at the moment still providing some pressure onto Purple Moon's side. And looks like one of them, K9, is actually caught on the outside and will get eliminated. Imhawk is going to be forced to move away, but Thunder does pour some fire onto him, forcing him to take cover behind the trees. But with the Blue Zone now up against this side here, Thunder is going to try to surf around it to try to get the beat onto Imhawk. He's trying to force the issue.
Whoa!
In the meantime, eliminating AAA as they attempted to try to get the assault there on the Exo Clan. Instead, the tables got turned onto them.
Okay, Purple Moon Esports now only has one more to deal with. Purple Moon Esports, however, doesn't have Flucky with them. I don't think there'll be enough time for them to pick up Flucky. Flucky is just too far away. The zone is going to put pressure. Chimo, on the other hand, going to put pressure on the PLM as well. PLM now forcing themselves into the zone with the vehicles.
Yep, Simoy right now joining up with Trick as well as Jexy to try to head off Exo Clan, who had just won the victory against AAA there. In the meantime, E36 looking like they're taken out by the Blue Zone there. They were approaching from the southwestern side, and it looks like that didn't quite work out well for them. Imhawk in the meantime still alive, still kicking right now, continue to keep the pressure on the PLM. That's a few good shots there. He gets on the board boats. Not enough to get a knockdown yet. He's forced to get on down on the road to get the first aid kit out. But then again, SST, he's the last person standing here. He's attempting to try to finish off PLM, who did quite a number onto them as they get across the street. But will he be able to get the kills done though? Borbos is already getting some other speed.
Wait, what?
Off.
Oh, I'm here from the outside the circle, toss a nade to rule them all. That was kind of heartbreaking, but anyway, Purple Moon Esports still managed to get 10 kills.
10 kills in total. That's a handsome haul here for PMA, because like the only other team that's going to be close to them right now is Unicorn Venom, and so far they're still in a running though, but so there's still an opportunity for them. Perhaps there's still final circle. 4 teams still remain. Unicorn Venom is one of them. E36, they lost 1 member to the Blue Zone, but still have 3 nevertheless. Exo Clan, the Australian squad, also coming in from the north side, while One Call also has 3 members. They have been holed up in the compound so far, and it's still within play, but then they've already moved on to the other side of the circle.
E36, the only full squad within the circle at this moment. Unicorn Venom just making their way in. Same goes for Exo Clan as well. But E36, they're leaving the high ground. They're going down to the compound instead, because the high ground is going to get crowded.
It's going to get very crowded indeed. And the thing is that the edge of the circle is going to be where the battle is going to be for UV and EXO Clan. Gobert and Gats and Chimpy now haven't quite got themselves in a good position, although they are a little bit spread out, so they're able to kind of give a bit of crossfire here to UV, who are just moving up single file line. Gubert now, he has a good position here to spot UV should they make positions, but he's only seeing smoke grenades being popped out on that side, so they know that that's going to be a huge amount of pressure that UV is putting onto them, forcing them now to just back themselves up into the northern side. That might actually run them into a path towards one calls Jexy, but nevertheless, EXO Clan is trying to buy some time right now because they need to see where exactly they want to try to maneuver next, and then again, every single decision is going to count.
Oh yes, it's going to count, and plus count is going to be the time. Time is counting down for these teams. Some of them still on the outside of the circle. As we can see here, EXO Clan, we have got one player there, but it should be okay for him to get into the circle. He has his friends as a marker. I believe we should see phase 7 will be really, really interesting because we got still 4 teams and we got still a lot of players within it.
Yeah, and like EXO Clan, he's still trying to spot out UV here, or rather trying to hold them back from being able to proceed any further, and Gubert is probably going to be in the front line of this right now. Smel's going to try to wrap around the side. There's a vehicle in position there. Perhaps Unicorn Venom might be thinking about going for a rapid reposition around the side of EXO Clan. There's still a little bit of safe zone left because this circle, this blue zone is not going to be coming in for another 40 seconds, but looks like they will not be taking that plan. Instead, they're just going to try to dig in here on the side of the hill, which is not exactly the best position to be in, but nevertheless, the terrain does allow them to avoid any fire that's going to be coming from one call or E36's side.
Yeah, looking at the spread of all these teams, everyone pretty much have their own corner for now, except for UV and EXO Clan, they're closer to each other. Trading shots right now are between those two teams. They know the position of everyone. And now Chimpy putting a couple of shots on the side of UV, but no big moves just yet. Everyone's just pulling out warning shots. Everyone's playing this patiently because the next circle is about to reveal itself. But Goober putting pressure to Seymour. Seymour dancing around, but Seymour should be A-okay. He has quite a good distance. And now the circle moves to an open area.
So that means E36 as well has to move out of their compound. One call certainly is in the best position to actually take whichever team that wins out this fight by the hillside here between EXO Clan or UV. Should be able to take them quite handily after they finish off this fight, but that means that for these two squads here, they have to wrap this up right now because otherwise they're going to be conceding a lot of ground here to both E36 and one call, and the longer they drag this out, the worse off it's going to be. The blue zone grenade going to be set up on the side there, attracting everyone's attention now. Gubert's still going to be up on top.
What? I'm looking at the ads on the northern side. Look at this. It's blessing one call at this point.
Yeah, it's actually giving them a lot of good, important loot there, so they can afford to sit back and let UV and EXO Clan just fight it out. A good creep is going to be coming right through by J-Ken. That didn't quite work out as Goober takes him down completely. So Unicorn Venom now still, he tries to set a frag grenade there, does get Goober down to half of his health, but he's also watching out the back because it looks like E36 also wants to get in on the action, becoming a third party on the back of UV here. So it looks like they have to try to take this maneuver onto EXO Clan, but it's looking like it's going to be tough with them to make the maneuver now. With the E36 already giving the pressure here. Sapao getting the knockdown to Goober here. Gats also getting knocked down. EXO Clan looks like they're rapidly falling apart now. Still, he finishes off Goober here. He's going to try to see whether he can spot the last member of EXO Clan, which is going to be Gats right up on the top of the hill, but he does get a health kit. He's going to try to run away and duck out of this fight.
Okay, here we go. It's moving in. Gats can Gats get into the right moment. You'll be meeting up with UV very, very soon. Gets the high guy advantage. He spots one, but on the other side, he didn't see the one on the left, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then at the Traverse 36, entering the fight now. They spot Sylphie, knocks him down. They just have to spot out Smell. Try to finish off Sapao, but it's going to be X-Key who'll find Smell on the back there. And Ender 436 will wrap up this fight here. Although they do have Sylphia knocked down, should be able to get him back up online. One call. I wonder what they managed to find in all those care packages is there. And if so, is that going to help in the fight against E36 now?
Well, it's a free resupply. Like what you said, it also depends on what they're going to do next. But looking good so far for one call. But let's see if they can wrap things up. Right now, we can see that Seymour is trying to find his target across. But the trees, the hill, is just blocking his sight.
blocking his sights indeed, and Ender 436, still have a bit of that dune left. Although the blue zone now is up against their backs here, so the chances are the next maneuver is going to be out in the open, which will be perfect for one call here, as they have a lot of scopes and a lot of good weaponry. The Mark 12, that's definitely going to be from the care package that they picked up there. The Trick is really having firepower today. He spots Sylphia up on top, but the foldable shield has actually kept him alive for now. Star-Lord is still keeping an eye out for Simoy, as well as Jexi and What Trick. He may actually spot one Trick through the smoke, but see the pop there. He actually catches Jexi, does get a little bit of a spray down, but the Trick is going to be able to take Star-Lord down instead. Sylphia still up on the top there. He's probably the last one standing here for E36, but one call now is going to be collapsing straight onto the Japanese squad here, but one last pickoff will secure them the chicken dinner, and finally,
chicken.
that's going to be, I think that was one call actually that got the chicken dinner. I don't know why we went to Enter Force's face cam there, but the Indonesian squad was the one who takes it at Tego.
Yeah, so one call. I mean, we did talk about the blessing of the supply crate, right? So it was a blessing at the end of the day. They restocked themselves. They probably got some good weapons, and all they needed to do was just use their skills to wrap up the game, and yeah, everything was given to them.
Again, like I would expect they used a lot of the main thing I wanted to get is the scopes, because again, where one call was positioned was out in the open there. Now granted, E36 had a bit of high ground, but again, the thick vegetation was a huge factor in the visibility here. I think, like, even if like E36, even if one call decides to try to assault on the E36, they could still get quite close to them before E36 will be able to respond to that. But I think again, for the most part, one call just had to let Unicorn Venom as well as ExoClan fight it out on their side. E36 really was just being an opportunist there by taking the backdoor position from UV itself. That's how they managed to get themselves that situation there. But nevertheless, I think one call did the right thing by just letting the other teams fight.
Yes, just let them fight and they come in later. That's always like the rule of thumb if you want to close things off at the end of the day. So they made the right call there. But looking over the highlights, I think this is a action-packed round, and that's the reason why I really love this map now. It's a smaller map. It forces teams to take fight after fight after fight after fight. And the one I'm most impressed on in terms of taking fights, of course, it's still Purple Mood Esports. Despite them going out somewhere in the middle bracket, but their amount of kills, they must get at least 10 kills still.
Yeah, and certainly gives a good case for them to be part of the top 3 for this match alone. So we'll have to see how that turns out for the scoreboard. I mean, the fight they took here against NGE, was slightly, against T5 was slightly interrupted a bit, but nevertheless they did a good elimination there to take out one of the top top players actually right now in this last chance qualifier. But though T5, they had to move out of the way, eventually bumping into Red Sea, and that ended up being a lot worse for them here, because that's where pretty much the journey ended.
Yeah, Red Sea, they managed to defend the compound the first time, but for the second one they failed to defend it. But Dean, with a valiant effort, still managed to secure that one kill point before he went out, so that was the best thing he could do at that point. But anyway, Red Sea, so far we can see that they're still in the top 8, and that's where it matters.
And to 436 as well, glad to see them actually become quite a factor, especially towards the end of this phase here. Deadly Strike as well, getting a good jump onto NGE, kind of forced them into a bad position here, which allowed PLM actually to just creep up onto the back and just eliminate the rest of them. Then SS Sun Sisters here, Tay9, I didn't realize that until I saw the kill feed. Tay9 took himself out with his own frag grenade, so I guess that must have been a mishit, and this frag grenade here from Imhawk was the one that finished off PLM. What a shame that would have been, because I think that PLM was kind of on track to get to the final circle and to join that fight.
Yeah, they had a vehicle, they were in the circle, they were kind of okay until that one nade landed. And well, sometimes it's a little bit hard for you to anticipate whether someone's going to toss the nade onto you, right? It's like that one person cooked up the nade nicely, tossing it. By the time the nade lands onto you, you won't have time to react. So that just happened there.
Yeah, well, what an action-packed takeover round that was, as we kind of come to expect now, having played 3 days of this during the group stage here. And I really want to see, like, with Purple Mood having been able to pick up 10 kills, but then they were bowed out quite early on, so I think they really may not have a lot of placement points for their own side. So we'll have to see, nevertheless, once the scoreboard comes up, where exactly they land. But I think there's still a good chance with them being somewhere in the top 3 for this map. Certainly, One Call is using this as an opportunity to get a bit of resurgence, you know, because I think out of like a lot of the teams here coming this last chance qualifier, they are the top 4 companies in terms of points by the end of the group stage of the teams that are now in the last chance qualifier, to be fair. So it's good to see that they're at least able to get a chicken dinner on this first day itself. So that, I think, gives a really strong case for why Indonesia needs to be in the grand finals here, doesn't it?
Well, yes, I totally agree. I mean, they play really, really smartly, but it's all about consistency, right? I hope that it's not a one-off thing whereby they got the chicken dinner and then after that we don't really see them. Hopefully they'll be able to continue on the consistency, because it will also be nice in the grand finals if we can have like a diverse amount of countries within the grand finals. So there'll be something for, I'm sure, the respective region fans will be watching, and they want to cheer on for their own countrymen.
Yeah, and just for context as well for everyone here, One Call, you know, after 2 matches has been in the 12th place. Let's see how far would they jump after we get to the score line, which should be coming up to your screens right about now. And it is going to be One Call, indeed, will be on top. Only 17 points, which is fair enough. Not the best we've seen so far, but enough to keep them ahead of a lot of teams. But look at that, PLM, 3rd place
Doing it
overall.
again.
Doing it again. 2 placement points, but the 10 kills was more than enough to secure them a spot at the big boys table.
Yeah, doing it again, PLM. Keep an eye on these guys. They're starting to realize that, hey, you know what? We must take fights, we must win fights, and that makes them a scary team. You gotta think about it, because anyone can be eliminated by PLM at this point. Looking over on the other side, so we got a couple of teams trying to follow that strategy, like NGE, like Red Sea. 4 kill points each, no placement points, still putting them somewhere okay, not that bad. Same goes for 310, 3 kills, no placement points. So I think they're starting to see that, hey, you know what, we might as well try to get those kill points and don't think too much about the placement points.
Yeah, at least, like, you know, think about it when it comes to, you know, the final circle, really. But then again, being able to get those few points is going to be crucial, because every single point matters in a long championship. You know, we have still at this point 7 more matches to play, still a lot of points on the table, but you never know. It might even be, you know, down to the wire by the time you get to the last match of the day. Can you imagine missing out on the chance of grand finals because of 1 point?
No.
Yeah, so that's why getting every single one is going to be important. But I'm glad to see that One Call is going to be able to get themselves up very quite far. So again, like I said before, this match they were in 12th place. Now they're able to get themselves, where are they right now? Huh. I actually see, like, I think the graphics are a little bit wrong, because I see number 1 being displayed twice here.
Right.
So yeah, apologies for that. For you guys at home, the overall leaderboard has a little bit of a bug right now. So unfortunately, we'll update you guys on the official score later on, once we are able to get the actual results out. But I think One Call has a decent chance of getting themselves in the top 8 anyway, having get a chicken dinner. I just really want to see where, like, Purple Mood as well ends up because of this performance here. And yeah, and E36 as well. Like, they had a fantastic takeover round, like low-key, you know, and brilliant sort of third party to the UV versus ExoClan fight towards the last circle. So I'm also hoping to see that they'll be able to get themselves somewhere in that top 8 too.
Yeah, hope so as well, because they've been putting on good performances, right? And yeah, I mean, I think the race is going to be tight, especially at the teams at the borderline at this point. I think the last time we saw Red Sea as well, they were just at the borderline with 15 points, and then number 9 was like someone with 14 points. So it could still really, really swap. And now we only have like what? We're starting to count down the games right now, right? We only have like what, 7 more games to go? Yeah, 7 more games to go in total, including tomorrow. So teams really, really got to take every point seriously.
Exactly, and you know, to your point about, like, you know, the kill points being a lot more important, I also feel that, you know, if you are a team who are really aiming very, very high, you know, especially if you're a team that wants to be amongst the top 8, you know, it's got to be a lot of things, a lot of placement points as well. They need to prioritize at the same time. So this should be adjusted overall leaderboard now. So yeah, One Call has made themselves up into 4th place now off of this Tego chicken dinner. So a fantastic result for them for sure.
Oh, we got 3 teams with 22 points. tied in. So interestingly, I'm still impressed with the numbers of PLM. Only 3 placement points. That means 1 placement point per round on average, but they got 24 kill points, surpassing T5, who is the #1 team.
Exactly. I mean, if only PLM had more placement points, if only they got into the last circle fight near Tego, I think that could have easily overcome AAA there. But nevertheless, they're only 3 points behind their fellow countrymen here. So I think it's a perfect opportunity for them actually to continue to suppress everyone else. I'm also glad to see that E36 got themselves up in 5th place here. ExoClan and Red Sea as well, you know, are still on the borderline, I would say, for this to get to the grand final stage. But nevertheless, having 19 and 15 points here should be quite competitive, especially against teams like Deadly Strike as well as #1 here.
Yeah, Deadly Strike only 40 points and #1 13 points. You really have to think about it. Right? It's like 1 point difference up until PMA, and then there's a slight gap, but the gap is not that big anyway. So I would say that there's still a lot of opportunity for these teams to really shuffle around, and teams even on the top 8 right now cannot be comfortable
Wow,
at
one kelas
all.
naik
Even
peringkat 4
T5,
saudara-saudara.
yeah, kind of okay. They can afford to drop a few rounds, but if they drop
Yeah,
too
bisa
many rounds,
naik.
who knows? A surprise might happen.
But I think the score line is still such that, you know, even getting a chicken dinner in any one of these rounds here for the teams that haven't been able to get up into the top 8 yet, I think given how far that one call was able to jump, I think that still bodes well for their chances, you know, to secure a grand final slot. They just need to try to find themselves that chicken dinner, I think, and also continue to remain consistent in kill points.
Yeah, but what is for sure at this point is that Thai dominance.
Peringkat
Oh,
1,
for
2,
sure.
3.
dengan
And this
22
1,
total
2, 3,
poin.
they come with different strats. Like one has a balanced strat, one has I would say more placement point strats, and one has a all the way kill point strats. And it still works out for them, however they play it. And Thailand, I mean, they're just a country that is dominating the PUBG scene.
Dominating indeed, and but then, you know, I'm really curious to see, especially once you get to the grand finals, how this how they will interact with the Vietnamese teams, because I think the Vietnamese squads also had a lot more recent success comparatively to the top teams from Thailand. So I think there's going to be like a heated rivalry between both of those regions coming into that. So nevertheless, though, I think we may be going to. We're going to be taking a break basically before we get to Erangel later on, but nevertheless, I think there was still a fantastic round here on Tego.
Yeah, Tego, great round. I wish we could have more rounds of Tego
Loh,
in the
ini
future.
kenapa ini Exo isinya
But
cuma
anyway,
tanggal
I'm
3
satisfied
aja?
with the Tego rounds. All the Tego rounds so far in our tournament has been great. And now looking over at our player cap,
Orangnya
ExoClan.
Rengosi tebel.
I think it surprised a lot of people that they dropped to the LCQ, but they'll be looking to come back
Semangat,
strongly.
Yeah, they won the Challenge Rumble, and the thing is that being the only Australian squad, I can imagine a lot of pressure is on them, you know, to as representatives as a whole of Oceania. And with MT being like the only Malaysian player here, you know, they are quite an interesting team actually to talk about when it comes to this tournament here. But I would say that, you know, so far so good for them. They are still in the running in the top 8. I think it's just a matter of being able to maintain that position. That means having to find a lot more good fights, especially against teams like #1 or Deadly Strike, or perhaps even try to steal some of these points away from the other top teams, especially from Thailand,
Super Mario Bros.
Football Mood, as well as T5.
Ngomongin
But,
ngawur
these are going to be this is going to be kind of the challenge for ExoClan now. You know, they still have another chance in this fight here. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they'll be able to make the full use of it.
I'm not gonna lie, that mustache was luscious.
Oh, that was
The
the mustache, the
mustache.
hat, the hair coming out from ExoClan. I guess, like, yeah, that was absolutely glorious.
I'll be waiting for you to reach that, you know, that level of lusciousness.
Oh man, Sun Sister. In the meantime, a bit of a messy round actually, I would say, for Tego, because while they did win some key fights, you know, it still ended up becoming a bit of a pyrrhic victory anyway, because they kind of overextended a little bit, but you know. they have made a lot of effort, I think, over this over the entire group stage, to improve themselves, and it seems to have started to pay off a bit. But I think other teams are starting to catch up to them as well, which is making the job a little bit hard too.
Yeah, including Purple Mood Esports, the highest firepower team that we have so far. But anyway, that's all done and dusted. We are coming back to a classic map, and that's going to be Erangel. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start it off from Primos up all the way onto the right side of Severny. That will be the flat path. Let's go.
Let's go. Exo Clan jumping off very early. I've always seen them do this, especially on Erangel maps. I wonder if it's simply because they want to be able to take the south point here, or is that legitimately a kind of strategy that they tend to run, especially on these classic maps here. Jump out early, try to get some early loot, and continue to farm as you hop from town to town. But looking at who else is also jumping out right now, Deadly Strike has decided to take in towards the school site area. One call has not quite made the call to jump out yet. In fact, they're still holding onto the plane, just I guess wanting to get themselves as far north as possible. So we can see a huge variance in terms of where these teams decide to start with. So this could be a really interesting Erangel round here, actually, I have to say.
Ritzy just passing by one call, so looks like they're just gonna ignore the fact that they saw Chibirit over there. So Ritzy seems to be going towards perhaps the area of, they're going towards the area of Kameshki. So that's going to be one of the edges there.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So the rest of one call actually jumped out quite early. It's just Chibirit who decided to jump out very, very, very late. So they're completely split out in the 3-1 formation there. I don't know what exactly the plan is. I guess we have to wait and see. Leo spots Thunders and Fluky attempting to try to run away. It looks like they managed to only secure a bike. They don't have any weapons actually. In fact, the rest of PLM is still left around the outside here. They only just found a complex here to try to farm. And that's going to leave them a little bit high and dry. Ooh, okay, very interesting here. This circle going up to the north side, so that puts Jojo Paul definitely in play, the shooting range as well. But with one call being a little split up like this, I wonder how they're going to try to meet up in the middle here.
Okay, this kind of circle is it's kind of tricky because you kind of need to make a choice whether you want to be on the upper island or you want to be on the main peninsula, which is the lower so-called island. And if you're there, sometimes it's difficult for you to go across, especially when the circle becomes really, really small. Imagine if it's like the 5th or 6th space of circle, but yet the circle still splits between up and down. That time, it will be like you want to get across, everyone's so close to each other that you won't have room to do that.
It becomes like a bit of a gamble, actually. Whether you want to stay on the north side or do you want to stay on the south side, and there's an equal chance that the circle could land either way. So really, you might just be leaving yourself at the in the hands of the gods, by the PUBG gods, I should say, by that point. But nevertheless, I expect that things are still kind of quiet at the moment. I don't think there's going to be there was any hot drops, at least as we saw just now from the map view. So it seems like teams are still going to be able to focus more on that farming run that they're doing right now. And I guess at this stage here, especially this last chance qualifier, we kind of talked about this off stream, but I think teams are just taking a much more safer sort of route, especially during this early phase here, not trying to go for hyper aggressive sort of early game plays. It looks like they're mostly trying to conserve a lot of the energy for the end.
Yeah, I think it's also the realization that it is an elimination match for today and tomorrow. So they don't want to make those big moves in case it becomes a big mistake instead. Well, unless you're PLM, then you probably are a little bit more confident to take those fights. But other than that, we can see that for the 4 matches, except for Tego, because Tego naturally is a smaller map, but for the bigger maps, we can see how conservative these teams have been playing, at least for the start. But that also means that when we reach the 3rd, 4th, or maybe 5th phase, that's where all-out warfare will happen.
SST is making an approach from the paddy field towards the complex where one call is holed up at. comprised of 3 buildings there. Bunch of trees and dunes actually is going to make it hard for them to spot, so I don't know if one call is actually aware that they're being spied upon now by Sun Sister. Runax has been like feeding information and allowing Tay9 and Fevan to try to come up the side, and you got Imhak coming up from the side of the east here. He's actually going to be on approach to the house now, while Tay9 and Fevan are going to be flanking the other side. And oh, look at that, they're trying to use the E pickup right now, so it looks like SST has to move and take the fight here as quickly as it can. Gunshots already fired here. One call realizes they're being spotted now, and decided to try to scramble straight away to try to meet this threat head on.
Okay, one call being surrounded. Where are they going to go from here? I mean, SST has every corner covered. They got the long range, they got the short range. They're just next to them. I mean, one call, man, they have no choice but to just win the fight.
Yeah, they had to cancel the E pickup just now, so looks like they're going to be bogged out here for quite a bit. Fevan has already taken control of one building, gets spotted inside a bit of a ping as well, forcing him now to duck around to the bottom here. One call is going to be taking control of this one building here. Runax is still on the outside. A Molotov is going to be sent in there to try to hopefully flush Fevan out. Tay9 in the meantime going to be wrapping around to pick up the Jeep as they looking to try to rapidly reposition themselves, or at least secure an insurance here should this fight go south for them.
Okay, so Sun Sister doesn't have a good view though of the opponent. They know that they're in the compound, but they can't really see. I guess that's where the compound really kind of helped one call. But how long are they going to stay here? They cannot stay here forever. There are a lot of risks here. Okay, other teams could come into this compound and be the third party. That's number one. Number two, they will lose prime positions to other teams rotating into the circle.
And you know, and on a personal level as well, I hate to be the player that basically has to just sit back and wait for the other team to make the move now, which is pretty much the position that one call is at this point, because they can't exactly they can't run away there. They're completely surrounded on all sides by SST. They can't exactly poke their head out too much, because that's going to risk them getting pelted by frag grenades or molotovs or even smoke grenades. And SST now, you know, they have a bit of a hard time actually flushing them out, because I think they're just running out of like grenades to throw anyway. So they're just kind of stuck waiting, or rather just seeing whether or not they can maneuver around and hopefully bait out some sort of response from one call themselves. But one call, knowing that the situation, the cards are stacked against them, are deciding to just dig in, stay quiet, stay silent, and then wait for SST to make the first move.
Okay, this is a daunting feeling, right? Like, you don't know when will they make the first move, like how are they going to do it, what kind of entry points they're going to use. But Sun Sister, okay, are they leaving this compound? Did they just steal vehicles from one call?
Are they stealing vehicles from one call? I mean, they are certainly getting some vehicles now. And one call sees, oh yeah, they literally just peel away from this. They decided, yeah, it's not going to be worth it to hold up here. I think they also might have spotted Exo Clan, which is just behind where the camera is, because they are also on the move as well. In fact, Exo Clan is also moving in the same direction that the SST is going in as well. So they might actually meet somewhere in the middle. In fact, now the battle has gone from them between them and one call to now Exo Clan. They're going to be getting back in the cars right now to hopefully just cut them off a little bit coming to this next circle. So it's a little bit of a rush now, a race actually, to get themselves to the edge first, and it looks like SST is going to be able to get to the finish line.
Wow, you know what? I think they sold the vehicles for one call. That means now one call does not have vehicles. Oh no, this is bad, this is bad.
Yeah, and Exo Clan, I think they've also just attracted some attention from one call, because they're turning around now to spot some people from behind there. Gaz is still keeping an eye on SST in the meantime, but it seems like one call is going to have to proceed on foot-ish, unless they manage to secure some other vehicles there. But Exo Clan has decided actually to just hold up here for a little bit, maybe try to regroup or rather reorganize themselves into their vehicles. Looks like the convoy will be on the way now. Xavier from Gex has found himself up on a mountain here. This car is definitely not designed for this level of off-roading, but Xavier is still going to try to do it anyway.
Well, whatever it is, whatever floats his boat, or whatever drives his car, as long as he's happy, it's fine. But speaking about the Gakam Mountain, it's actually a decent place to be in, because it's like, again, you get to see like rotations of other teams around that area. Now, it might not be the best, because there's a chance that the circle might move away, because right now the Gakam Mountain is just somewhat by the side of the circle. So I have a preference for this kind of circle to be inside of Jogopu, because I think it allows better access to the other side in case the circle hard shifts to the other side of the island, and you can still be one of the first ones to swim across.
Yeah. Right now, things are slowing down to a bit of a crawl right now. New House Esports find themselves a nice little house here by the riverbank. The prime real estate, I have to say, because it does overlook some bridges too. Red Sea Esports also having a whale of a time going for their farming run. Have been just farming and farming constantly throughout this run, not really getting into any major engagements yet. Looks like one call. Ooh, this circle landing on top of the shooting range now. So that's a little bit more northward bias than I think Gex or even EXO would have liked, but nevertheless, that means that even though they took control over the Gatka Mountain, it's not going to be factoring too much now in this next circle. In fact, with the bridges also becoming a bit of a choke point, that could be a site for some action there instead.
Yeah, so this is where it is going to be a difficult one for those teams on the main peninsula, because they need to go through the choke points unless they have a different exit, which is using the emergency pickup. But if they choose to go by ground, they want to drive their vehicle, well, be prepared for teams actually defending the bridges.
Yeah, PMA looks like they use an E-pickup to drop themselves right on top of the shooting range. Came under fire a little bit. Now they're going to try to pour some fire onto New House Esports, who have switched out from the house to the cars now to cut across and hopefully be able to get to this next circle quickly. In the meantime, the PMA is still going to try to use whatever time they have left to just loot the area they're in right now. Teraton 5 also on the move, getting themselves in the middle of a city there, which is being held by another squad. PMA in the meantime having free reign to just continue looting here. The only thing they have to watch out for is perhaps a squad or two that might be coming across the hill. I do see another squad coming through. Resi Esports at entrance, NHE here. Long K has been taken down. Should be finished off here by Papa Zayed, and looks like NHE might be getting a little bit more trouble than they bargained for.
Well, it's going to be Red Sea getting the kill point, and of course they are currently at the edge of the top 8, so they definitely need the points in the fact that they'll take it off anybody. So whatever they can get, they'll take it. But so far, it's just a rotation. Seems like they chose the upper side of the circle, so they're currently within the circle. I think the next few phases of the circle should be okay for them.
Yeah, I mean, at least now that they found a complex to work out of, so they should be secure. Relatively, one calls Jexy just got a bit of an encounter now with EXO Clan. It looks like they actually picked up some vehicles themselves, and they're still out in a blue zone. Not a painful blue zone, to be fair, but nevertheless, not a good thing to actually bump into a squad right on the edge there. So one call is going to have to find another approach in. New House Esports still trying to keep Red Sea at bay right now, but they also have Teraton 5 coming in the other side. See having an pickup and dropping down close to where New Generation Esports is. They try to snipe them down. T9 actually takes a bit of a shot there, but I don't think that's going to be enough to knock them down or stop them even getting that away. Triple A in the meantime looks like he's getting into a counter now with Gex, because Savior has been taken out by a headshot there. So New Generation might have just gotten a drop there.
Oh, look at the amount of teams starting to come in on the shooting range. On the minimap itself, we can see 3 teams, and there's more coming as well as EXO Clan takes the emergency pickup into the circle up onto the northern island. And this is where the emergency pickup is so useful, and you don't need to worry about the choke points. But like what you said before, it's going to be a double-edged sword. Let's see where are they going to land.
Yeah, let's see where they're going to try to land here. Again, most likely it's going to be by the coast. They know at least, like, this is definitely not going to be any squads by the water. Although Chimpy is going to be backtracking a little bit here, so I think he's going to see whether just scout out this complex here. But he got 3 teams here: Sunstrike, Sun Sisters, as well as PMA in the vicinity. 310 in that house just up by the hill there, and that's going to be an open invitation to everyone else to try to pop them off while they get their parachutes popped out. Are they going to be able to get on ground? Looks like MT has taken a bit of damage, but looks like no knockdowns there for EXO Clan, so they're a little bit safer now.
Oh yeah, it's lucky pick for them, and also lucky for them because the circle happened to be on top of them as well, so they don't need to move for the next missile circle at least. Now, we still have one call on the main peninsula, just on the areas of Rosal, still not on the northern island or on the shooting range island just yet, so they still need to make their way. And the choke points is just not helping them.
Yeah, certainly not helping them too much though. SST has been able to calmly be able to take this place on the outside here and to retain 9 inside the shack, at least overlooking the hill. There's no chance for 310 to provide any surprises for them whatsoever. Looks like Deadly Strike were close by to where New House Esports is. New House is already pulled away from this location here just to leave Deadly Strike to their devices, so no threat of an attack coming here for this squad in particular. I do see that NGE gets a caught onto Gats. I think Exo Clan tried to move in onto their position here and just got caught out a bit.
Attack all around. Okay, be prepared to attack all around, literally, as he's been surrounded by NHE. Managed to get the first knockdown, 2 more at the bottom. Can he get the second one at least? Yes, he can. What a nice peak shot from Skirt. Amazing gameplay.
Yep, Triple A now getting themselves a nice, decent haul there, as NHE no doubt was like, I saw them kind of like using the cars to go around, and that seemed to have caught them in a bad place. PMA has actually caught Imhop and taken them out of the map. New Generation's Hakai is moving in the same vicinity where Red Sea Esports is. Papa Zayed has loaded up his teammates into the Jeep, but seems like shots are still coming through. Tana Watt spawns empty, attempting to try to hide behind a tree. Now he's going to try to regroup with Goobert there, as Exo Clan, who has already lost 1 member, mind you, are now under fire from yet another team here in the Purple Mood.
Well, Purple Mood Esports, so far this round, not really in the mood to find kills. 0 kills for now. Well, unless they want to show up later and just wipe out everyone, we'll need to wait and see. But so far, we're still 15 teams available in this round. And we'll see the next phase of circle in about 10 more seconds. So far, everyone seems to be settled down within the circle. Even like one call from Rosa managed to find their way up onto the shooting range island. They're A-OK for now, but the next circle will determine if they will still be okay. But keep your eye on the top left there.
Yeah, the top left, number 1 is collapsing onto UV here. I don't think we've seen any knockdowns coming quite yet. Instead, the knockdowns on NGE, who are also fighting on the other side with Red Sea here. Purple Moon Esports continue to keep Exo Clan completely suppressed there. Attack all around. Jack Wolf gets knocked down there by a shot from Yuri on the mini 14, and that's even though they tried to get a jump onto him, looks like Yuri had a little bit of a last laugh.
Ooh, yes, a beautiful one indeed. Let's see if Janku can be picked up there. But now looking at the circle shift, the ones that were fighting on the top left, well, they need to make this fast. Now look at this, the long range coming from Thunders. It does connect, but not enough to take anyone down just yet. At the same time, we can see that Dark Blue together with Tanawan getting kills for himself.
Yeah, I think NGE is sweeping up Red Sea, but Papa Zai is still putting up a decent fight right now. But Hakai is coming up behind him, putting a lot of damage on the Papa Zai here. He's actually going to catch him up. He takes him out completely from the back, and Red Sea is out in 15th place.
That was a tough one there.
Yeah.
He turned his back. But anyway, his life was like about what 10% health left. So there was nothing much he can do about that. Purple Mood Esports. Now, this could be their first kill if only he can connect those shots, those long-range shots. Not just yet. Speaking about long-range shots, we got Enter Force 36 trying to stop UV from coming in.
MT is at least able to get Fluky down for now. T5 also getting the fight with PMA, no doubt around the shooting range area. But PLM Barbos gets a good frag and they kill against Chimpy there. So they're also getting the mix, and Barbos gets a shot to knock down MT as well. Exo Clan under a whirl of hurt right now as Goobert attempts to try to head off this assault from PLM. It doesn't seem to be working out too well for him to go as MT gets eliminated and taken out from the map here. Thunder's continuing to keep his
Goobert
gets a ping onto him, tries to get a second one, but is not going to be able to get him through the trees until just
Goobert!
Another turn shot onto Goobert once more, but then finally he will get taken down by Borbos, who was just right by the hillside.
Oh, just in time. The blue zone arrives for the Thunders, and Thunders immediately gets away. Hatsawa will be taken by the zone, and look at the amount of teams on the northern side, just below shooting range. There are like 4 teams just next to each other.
Yeah, PMA were in a fight just now with T5. It looks like Rostetet has already been knocked down, and NGE quickly peeling away from this because realizing they're going to be set on the pawn by other teams here, and SST is moving up from the south side as well, providing a lot of pressure. They got a knockdown on Hakai as well, so it looks like the NGE has to stand their ground and fight here. Thunderdol out in the blue zone will get eliminated out in 11th place, so Teraton 5 not able to join the rest of them inside this final circle. NG is still not out of the woods yet. They're still attempting to try to rescue Hakai, but SST continues continues to keep them under pressure.
Oh, there's such a messy fight right now. You move and you shoot, you move and you shoot. And Faven, can he get one for himself? At the same time, the blue is going to put pressure on the Faven. Will be knocked down by Venya. Faven will need Tay9. Can he finish him off instead?
Yes, he will. He will get a knockdown together with the flashbang. So now SST has bought themselves a little bit of time while the rest of NGE will be peeling away from this battle now. Kyle cutting away their losses here. So SST, a bit of a tight one there, especially with 2-3 teams moving into the circle there, being pushed by the blue zone, forcing them into that fight. Unicorn Venom in the meantime getting a bit of a counter with number 1. yoooo is the only one there right now because his teammate has been eliminated. Smoke grenade allowing him to cover his approach while Sapao is attempting to try to keep him away from this next safe zone.
Somehow keeping yoooo at bay. Both them pretty much by the side of the blue. The blue will put pressure to them anytime soon. yoooo tries to find a good angle, but the smoke is just blocking his side. yoooo with the barrel in hand. Barrel versus barrel. But then again, JCat, he has a high ground against yoooo. yoooo still can't find his target just yet. yoooo needs to move. He has a vehicle, but if he takes his vehicle, he could be shot down. He's going to take that risk into the vehicle.
Yeah, he's going to try to risk it right now, just trying to run because the blue zone is already closing in. JCat goes for the spray, but that forces yoooo on the outside, and he will get eliminated there. Team number 1 not able to proceed on here. 8 teams still remaining in this circle.
Oh, there you go. Tay9 is not done yet. He's getting one for himself. Runex on the other side. Tries to get a good sight on the other target, but not able to do so. Runex right now still on the outside circle. 310 still stopping them from coming in, but the blue is coming from behind. Gonna put pressure.
Nice.
Runex will do it!
SST taking out 2 there from Runex will allow them to overcome 310. So that was a bit of a tight spot, but they still managed to make the most of it. So this next circle still out on the open here. Deadly Strike still on top, trying to gatekeep Unicorn Venom coming in. SST's 2 remaining members will be joining up onto a Jeep now, trying to make their way into this next safe zone. E36's Starlo and Sylvia have not found themselves yet in the battle, but they may actually be able to get an encounter with Deadly Strike. But the thing is, Deadly Strike already has a building to work out with, and that's using that right now to snipe onto the other teams.
And UV now is next team in trouble. They need to get into the zone, but they'll be gatekept by other teams. Need to find a way in or find their way through. They don't really have a choice right now. They're running in on foot. Sapao together with JCat. Where are they going to go?
They're going to try to wrap around, I think. They're going to try to wrap around this house here, and hopefully they don't attract too much attention with Deadly Strike. But then again, Crazy Boy and Lucky J are just pouring whatever lead they have in their general direction. So UV has to be very careful about which side of the terrain they're going to use for cover against Deadly Strike's building here. E36 is now also moving up this hill here. Might find themselves in a battle with Deadly Strike very soon. But for now, they're also watching the movements coming down from the lower ground side. UV has already got a knockdown here from Ken because Lucky J has just found him with the AUG. So now Deadly Strike has a prime opportunity here to eliminate yet another squad.
Unlucky for Sapao and Cole. The circle continues to move away from them. They need to move. Sapao, where is he going to go right now? They know exactly where he is, and Sapao will be taken out by Jason.
Headshot, in fact, there. So that leaves UV out. 5 teams still remaining in the running. Dat Blue right in the center there. But I think he's the only member of NGE still alive. He's still within vicinity of the circle, which now actually is being controlled by E36 somewhat. Although AAA, who have been quiet for the whole time, staying on the south side and out of trouble, are now starting to see whether or not they can extend that control to the road that cuts in between this next circle here. While in the meantime, Sunstrike, Enter Force 36, moving up closer to where Deadly Strike's position is. This is looking like Deadly Strike has a lot of advantage because of the complex they're in right now. As Enter Force 36 running very low in utilities here on Sylvia at least. So I don't know how much fight can they have here, especially against a full stack squad like Deadly Strike.
Ooh, Deadly Strike, it's time to pick their poison. If they move to their left, it's going to be E36. If they move to their right, it's going to be NGE and one call. So where do they want to go right now? They need the information. If only they have sight over the other side of the hill, then they can decide better. But time's on their side. Now looks like Trick is moving, and look who's there.
Yep, see that blue, he's spying on the Trick here, but then Trick, I think, has been hearing all the gunshots coming on the north side, so he's looking to try to join in the fight with on the deadly strike here, but Lucky J and Jason are going to be caught out a little bit. Simoy is going to be coming around. That blue is still hiding just in between the two of them and has not been spotted quite yet, but Deadly Strike is the deadlier team, no doubt, especially with this blue zone now crushing in here. That's going to force them out in the open, so One Call is taking this opportunity now to get himself set up to ambush whoever tries to come down into the circle.
Oh, Sylvia spots one out, and Sylvia gets to knock down the crazy boy, but Sylvia being counter fire upon by the other side. No, Sylvia's still alive somehow. Lucky G, we need to move in quickly, but Sylvia will be able to reset himself, but Lucky G comes in on time, and Lucky G, 2 knockdowns back to back. Beautiful coming for Lucky G, gonna get the one, but no! That is it for Deadly Strike.
Star-Lord coming in with a headshot to allow E36 to continue to get this running here. 3 teams still remaining. One Call now collapsing onto what used to be this Deadly Strike's position here in order to head off E36. Water is still low, but they still need to try to get there faster though. Grab Grenade's going to be able to knock down Sylvia, so now they just need to deal with Star-Lord here and they should be able to finish off E36.
Oh, at the same time, Triple A, they're waiting for all the commotion to happen before they come in. And now Jaxi, Star-Lord's picking up his teammate. Jaxi's moving in with the Molly. Also, Molly forces them to move. Star-Lord managed to pick up his teammate, but now Star-Lord being shot at 43 health left. Star-Lord needs to retreat. Star-Lord needs to reset. Jaxi is still alive, trying to buy time for his teammates, but Eva will be gunned down. Star-Lord will reset.
Yep, he will be able to reset himself. A teammate is going to be coming in front of him, asking for the revive, but he doesn't exactly have the space to do so. Instead, he's going to try to send some frag grenades down, but One Call is going to be attracted by that instead and finds him through the brush. So E36 is out in 3rd place here. Now it's come down to the wire. Attack all around as well as One Call now vying for this next chicken dinner.
Oh, here we go. 4v4. It's going to be a fair fight here, but then again, the circle does favor Triple A a little bit more. While one call, they have the high ground advantage instead. The airdrop drop between these 2 teams. One knockdown to lower ground. It's not possible for Triple A to pick up their teammate. There won't be enough time.
It wouldn't be enough time indeed. It's One Call now. Looks like they're also maneuvering to try to get to that care package. It just drops right in the middle here. And what an interruption it is really for disruption actually for Attack All Around, because we auto skirt out of the way. They aren't able to flank their way down southward. So just like Jedi is going to be able to get his car down, it's going to attract some shots coming in for One Call as well. As Shibuya attempts to try to finish off him before auto skirt before he's going to be able to get a revive. But oh yes, he does get the ping just off to the edge of the tree there. So that allows him to take out auto skirt. Now Jedi is finding himself in trouble because he's out in open here, has a car, and Shibuya has him in his sights.
Oh, One Call looking good so far. They are putting a lot of pressure on the Triple A. They're not allowing them to make their move. They're not allowing them to open up. Instead, One Call is the team that open up. Look at them opening up the flags. Where is Triple A going to go? They're choking Triple A to the edge of the blue.
Yeah, it's choking them indeed. Trick is going to be getting in the car right now. No doubt to try to continue to flank Triple A right now. Equilucia is going to have to cut off Chipirit, who has already moved up quite far forward. They're going to try to keep the
Here we go.
Get the knockdown onto Equilucia instead, though. So Simboy, Jaxi now moving up in front. Jakku 2 up is already down. They just need to find Jedi, who is all by his lonesome at the edge of the circle here. One Call has this a lot. Simboy goes up in front.
There you go.
Takes the kill. Winner chicken dinner for Indonesia.
Oh, One Call. 2 chicken dinners back to back. Wow, oh my goodness, this is a great chicken dinner. I mean, just looking at their coordination, the moment they got the first knockdown, they open up and they secured the perimeter, not allowing their opponent to move at all. Triple A had nowhere to go.
Yeah, wow, let's go ahead and have a look at the highlights here, but One Call very, very elated right now because now with the 2 chicken dinners, they're certainly going to be able to bring themselves close to Teraton 5 when it comes to this fight here. But man, having a look at the highlights right now, I think like overall, you know, a very slow start to this Wrangle round, no doubt because teams are playing it a little bit safe. We saw plenty of maneuvering, plenty of the use of the E pickup here, and I think SST got themselves in a nice prime position here because it's in the middle of 3 different teams here. They managed to catch a little bit of Exo Clan, who also had the same idea, just having to drop off a little bit off to the side in order to avoid the field of fire that's coming off of the shooting range. Attack All Around were getting this encounter here with NHE. Yeah, this was a nice fight here for them, and a perfect one as well because they secured them nice haul of 4 kill points overall. Purple Moon Esports have been all over the place, really. But nevertheless, having based themselves close to that shooting range area, they've gone and described PMA. This was a fight between NGE and Red Sea. That happened a little bit off screen, but Red Sea was the one who took the brunt of most of it. ExoClan attempted to get a jump onto Purple Moon, but again, with Thunders being able to provide support from the building and the rest of his squad on the hillside, that was an easy pickings there for Purple Moon Esports.
Yeah, but overall, Phase 4 onwards, we can see that it's really, really messy. A lot of teams are really close to each other, and so happened that those number of teams had to fight against the circle that kept moving away from them. That's why we saw a lot of action. Like yoooo tried to get away with his vehicle, but JCam was ready. The moment he hopped into the vehicle, he knows he cannot shoot back, so that's where he just goes out, all out spraying onto him, and he managed to secure that kill. So that was a good one there as well. And Sylvia, my oh my, that one last stick lasted him for quite a while.
Lasted him for quite a while, but Ender Force 86 was under a lot of pressure here from Deadly Strike, who have taken control over the north quite effectively by having the high ground here. And even though Ender Force 86 tried to keep them under pressure, Deadly Strike, managed to secure a compound for themselves, which meant they still had a fallback plan anyway, which actually emboldened them for the fight. And then one call, just perfectly dissected Triple A here. It was at the 10-point Triple A side to try to flank them, but that completely put J-Die out of position and unfortunately caused a little bit of their downfall, basically, by the final circle.
Yep, and what a good coordination. We saw great coordination. We saw great individual gunfights as well. I mean, Erangel, that's why it's the OG map. All these players, they know how to play this map like the back of their hand. That's why they're playing it to their best. And we saw a lot of great gameplays within it.
Oh yeah, certainly. And with like another Erangel round to go, it's still not quite done. I think for these teams here, they're still continuing, they will still be able to continue to use a lot of information here going to this next round, and that being the last match of the day here. I mean, one call already securing 2 chicken dinners, I think, and Theraton actually having a bit of an underperformance since Tego. I think they're going to be raring to see whether or not they can try to secure another chicken dinner here on Erangel, or maybe, maybe their strongest map is Miramar. Just saying. Maybe, but they still managed to collect a good amount of points there to secure their place at least in the top 8 for now, right? I think the scarier ones would be those teams at the borderline of the top 8. Like, how are they faring? Because I think that there will be a lot of change there, considering that Red Sea in this round was not a spectacular round for them. That's the thing.
Because they were at the borderline.
Yeah, so again, when you're at that borderline, is either you go broke, either you go for broke or you go home, basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's really a really tough situation to be in for sure. But again, with limited number of rounds to play for here in this last chance qualifier, you cannot afford even minor mistakes. Just putting yourself either in a bad position like what Attack All Around did in that final circle, or just kind of like making an open invitation for a lot of other teams to just basically gank onto you instead. So you always want to be able to have a fallback plan. You always want to be able to get the first pick off really against any other team when you fight. Here is the leaderboard right now for match number 4. One call, of course, taking the top spot right now with that chicken dinner and 11 kills for themselves. It's the most out of everyone here. Triple A E36 as well as NGE, not too bad in this round here, earning 7 kills here, so allowing them to be 13, 12, and 10 points respectively.
And this is the first time we see T5 and Purple Moon Esports on page number 2 in a match leaderboard. Only 3 points each, and they still have a couple of kill points. But anyway, it's still points, and I think these two teams, so far, they can afford to lose a few points. They're fine.
Yeah, but it's just, I mean, Teraton 5 as well were also this low when it came to the previous match itself of Dantego. So again, like a bit concerning here, but given that they still had like a huge lead here, I think they're still more or less secure in that top 8. Perhaps like, it's perhaps like other teams now are starting to catch up to them somewhat. But with one call already getting themselves back to back here, I'm certain that T5 will be looking that a little bit nervously right now. Hopefully they'll be able to come back a lot stronger in the next Erangel round here. I'm also very surprised to see that Red Sea and number 1 also underperformed massively here even, because they were still involved in a few fights, but I think Red Sea themselves got completely wiped though in that counter. So we'll see how they're going to try to continue on, because as of right now, Red Sea has been pushed off of the top 8 here. Exo Clan also on that borderline a little bit. Deadly Strike has been able to upgrade themselves into a first class ticket here. So has Unicorn Venom as well. So joining still up, the one call has already reduced that gap between themselves and T5 down to 3 points. So like I said, if I was in T5's position, I would be a little bit worried.
Okay, now that we get to look at the overall, it does make sense as well. If you, again, the number that interests me is that Purple Moon Esports, they are in the Grand Final stage bracket, but only 3 placement points. That is less than 1 point per round at this point. 27 kills. It is still the highest among everyone.
I mean, Exo Clan also has like a similar sort of ratio going on, 4 placement points to 15 kill points. Now, it's still going to be on that borderline, but you know, the vast majority of other teams are still quite consistent in collecting both kill points as well as placement points as well. But for the most part, these are teams that were very much involved in late game fights, very much able to survive through the typically very chaotic mid phase. So I think it's more about being able to survive that middle portion of the map is a lot more important should they still want to be able to keep up with the top 8 teams.
But you know who has to keep up? There's a break time for us, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll be taking a short break here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be seeing you for the last game of today in Erangel after this break.
Welcome to the update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in.
Kurang 1 match lagi untuk hari ini.
First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on Erangel, Miramar, and Destin. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
Survive as
The
one.
latest game from Krafton and 5min Lab. Fast pace and full intense PvP action brawler game. Use your best combo to send your opponent to the lobby. Select your legends and be the winner. Pick the mode that suits your fighting style, from 1v1, 2v2 to Battle Royale. Available to download and play free on Play Store, App Store and Steam. Let's be legends today!
Let's be
Welcome
legends
to the
today.
Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on Erangel, Miramar, and Destin. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
The latest game from Krafton and 5min Lab. Fast pace and full intense PvP action brawler game. Use your best combo to send your opponent to the lobby. Select your legends and be the winner. Pick the mode that suits your fighting style, from 1v1, 2v2 to Battle Royale. Available to download and play free on Play Store, App Store and Steam. Let's be legends today!
Welcome to the Update 23.2, where you can now revive your teammates, transport knocked out allies onto vehicles, and engage in a new social feature, the clan system. Let's dive right in. First on the menu is the brand new revival system. To reduce frustration during squad play and promote diverse strategies in normal matches, you will now be able to revive your fallen teammates. Just retrieve the blue chip from their death boxes and register it at one of the transmission towers scattered across the map, or through a wireless transmitter item obtained through farming. They can then rejoin the match via a respawn plane that flies once per phase. Note that this feature is available only in normal and custom matches on Erangel, Miramar, and Destin. Next, we're introducing a new DBNO feature, allowing you to carry knocked out teammates and place them inside vehicles. This addition provides players with an alternative way to evade danger without having to only abandon or revive your teammates. We are also finally ready to unveil our new clan system. Create or join a clan, play matches, and earn XP to level up your clan. As your clan levels up, you will be able to upgrade your clan tags. Not only that, but you can also earn a BP boost by playing with your clanmates. Definitely worth. And as always, make sure to check out the patch notes for all the details. Update 23.2 has plenty more in store this month, including a DBNO rebalance, general lobby UX UI improvements, a slight buff to the Ace32, and more. Starting with this update, prepare to become your team's hero, transport teammates to safety, and establish your own PUBG Battlegrounds clan for double the excitement. And we'll see you on the Battlegrounds.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the PUBG Asia Super Cup. We are on day 1 of the last chance qualifier, and this is unfortunately now the last match of the day, though. So if you come in a little bit, if you just came in here, you're a little bit late to the party, but nevertheless, better late than never, isn't it?
Yeah, you've been missing a lot of action, you know. But anyway, yeah, we still got tomorrow for the last chance qualifier. So it's not all doom and gloom for those of you who just joined us, and also for the teams, because there's still 5 more games to go. It is 6, including the next match.
Indeed it is. So before the break, we managed to have a look at the overall leaderboard, where it seems like one call having taken back-to-back chicken dinner rounds, both in Tego as well as and Wrangle as well, has actually closed the gap between themselves and Theraton 5. So the two of them are right now vying for the top spot, but in meantime, for everyone else involved, I mean, again, huge, massive performances from team like Attack All Around, being able to get out in 3rd place. Enter Force 36 managed to boost themselves up a couple of places now, so they are currently sitting in 4th overall. Then you got, but then you look at the further down there, you got Red Sea Esports dropped out of that top 8 for now. Exo Clan also a little bit on that borderline. Deadly Strike actually had a brilliant run in that last Wrangle round, so they're now up in the top 8 as well, to be able to mix it up with the rest here. And you know, with this final Wrangle match going to be coming up soon here, I think there's going to be a lot of things to keep track of, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot, because we're still at the first 5 games, so a lot of shuffling will happen. Maybe some of the teams up there would have sealed it in the top 8 by the end of today at least, but because of like the past 2 games, some of the top teams start to drop a little bit. Well, the position could be in
taking flight now in our final match of today here. The path is going to be taken from northwest all the way to southeast, so that will cut towards Koznovka Island, but it also offers plenty of opportunities for teams to jump out early to take control over the northern side of this map here. But what do you think? Would you rather take the jump early? Would you rather take it a little bit late? Or would you just be right around the middle where it's just nice?
Well, my favorite drop zone is school, like personally. So I would jump to somewhere in the middle, and with this kind of flat path, you can reach onto school directly. So yeah, I have a liking for that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see like the decision why to want to do so, because you know you're going to be in the most maneuverable position to get to wherever side of the map that the circle decides to spawn. But then again, like some teams, you know, they knowing that you know, the center tends to be a lot hotter compared to the edges, will try to use the coastline actually as a way to prevent themselves from getting backdoored, especially during the early phase where it comes to doing farms, or you know, the only kind of encounters you usually get during the first phase anyway will be hot drops. So you know, by taking quite early to the coast as well, not only you maximize your potential to be able to grab some loot early on, but you also get a much better like a much better view of what happens around your immediate vicinity. Whereas like in the center, you know, you could basically have like enemies coming from any direction whatsoever, and you're kind of not in control in that situation. But speaking of control, though, circle going down the northern side here, so mostly it's going to be still around Yasuna Poliana. You still also have the shooting range also in play here, so maybe it might be a repeat again of what happened last circle. But nevertheless, you know, school is also in that mix, and you always see 310 West, 310 Rascal Jesters already there taking position.
Yeah, it kind of has the previous round sort of feel sort of circle. It's just that this time it's like a little bit towards the right side. So the same theory applies. Whether you want to, you kind of like need to gamble whether you want to be on the shooting range part of the circle or you want to be on the raw sort part of the circle, and that really depends like how far the circle would go as well. If it's like 50-50 towards the fourth or fifth stage of circle, then it's going to be really, really tough. But if it's like, oh, by phase 2, then you can kind of see, obviously, the circle will go towards one side, then you're still okay.
There's still a fair amount of like water involved in this circle here, I think, especially given the top of the lake, or the lake that the river flows out to. But I think at the same time, you know, with the spawns for the circles having been standardized now under the super rules, the 4th phase as well as the 8th phase, if I recall correctly, are the ones where the circle is definitely going to be landing on land instead of water. So that increases the odds that, or rather decreases the probability of a circle ending up becoming like majority water instead. So hopefully that doesn't, you know what I mean, thankfully because of these new rules, that wouldn't come to pass anymore.
Yeah, true enough. That's why we saw a lot of emergency pickers being used as well earlier on. So that's how they kind of manage it in the current meta, and we don't see as many choke point roadblocks anymore as before, because I mean, the moment they know that they are at a disadvantage in terms of like being caught out in the choke point, they'll just pop out the emergency picker and they go. So it's a great item to have, to keep and use it at the right moment, like not like from the start.
Indeed it is. And we've seen, like you said, we've seen plenty of that E-pickup being used, you know, both offensively and also just for repositioning's sake here. Exo Clan going to be taking control of the factory area here. Seems like they will have a decent time to farm here. Again, they're the team that's currently sitting in 8th place right now. Not the most secure spot to be in, and most of those points they managed to rack up is mostly from kills, actually. It's kind of like a similar kind of story when you look at Purple Moon Esports, right? Where like, they have prioritized a lot of those kill points. It seems to have been enough to keep them somewhere in the top 8, at least for the start of the day. But I think as time goes on, you know, the teams that have been a lot more consistent in getting to the final phase of the game, and thus be able to haul a lot more placement points. I think we're starting to see that the strategy kind of working against them now, because either they have to continue to be still this aggressive in getting kills, or perhaps this might be time for them to start to strategize a little bit more about how to survive the middle phase of this game and make sure they have a path towards the late game circle.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I think, is that a blown up vehicle? That's pretty early. All right, restricting their own mobility, or maybe it's not a vehicle that they want to use. And sometimes there's a strategy, you know. So there could be this strategy whereby, okay, while you travel, you blow up vehicles on your way, so that you cut the mobility out of other teams. But if there's just too much bullets to expand, then you can just puncture the back tires, and it works in the same concept as well.
I mean, that's a fair point as well, because, you know, under the new rule set, vehicle spawns are a lot more like consistent now. They will be definitely at very specific points on the map, and will always spawn the same type of vehicles. So perhaps that's like it makes me think of like the World War II strategy. Oh my God!
Wow.
A war is just broken out. As XT1 finds me some flying finishes off very quickly. Red Sea Esports were still on the move that time, so they're not going to be able to respond to this at all. Oh, very unfortunate there for the Malaysian squad.
It's going to be Mr. Flank again. Man, I remember watching him in the last PUBG tournament that I casted as well, and he was an amazing player. He was pretty much like a clutch god level. Like, he would be able to take on 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3 during that moment. But it's just unfortunate that in this tournament so far we don't get to see the best of him.
Looks like Papa Zayed might be in a little bit of a hot seat as well. It smells an opportunity to try to pop things off here to Red Sea, but Zayed is able to give him the slip though, so no knockdowns this time around. The M16A4, to be fair, doesn't have a lot of armor penetration though. Papa Zayed seems to have his tire popped off though, so it did have a bit of effect, but not enough to stop this Big Daddy though.
Yeah, at least it's the front tire. So
Yeah.
the crucial one is the back tire. The back tire gets popped up, that's it. You might as well abandon the vehicle. So he's kind of lucky that it was the front tire. But there's going to be the tricky one right now. So he needs to find somewhere to reset. But it looks like his teammates decide to just crash in.
Yeah, they're going to crash in straight away. Unicorn Venom is. Papa Zayed comes out top. Unfortunately, he gets knocked down immediately. Both of them get taken out right from the get-go here. And the last kill at the time, Pablo finishes off Red Sea Esports. They tried to take a fight here, but it seems like they're bitten off a lot more than can chew.
Okay. I mean, that crash was a little bit concerning, I must say, because they knew that they don't have Mr. Plank, so they were already at a disadvantage the moment they crash in, and I don't know, it's just heartbreaking because they looked like they had some hope to be in the top 8 during the start of the day, but as the day tends to close off, it seems like their performance as well.
Yeah, I mean, just dropping like a stone, actually, when you look at the leaderboard perspective. So, a sad day. It's always a double-edged sword, like I said, with this E-pickup. You know, either you're going to be jumping into the fire, or perhaps you'll be able to reposition yourself in a much better place compared to before. But nevertheless, Goobert, lands on top of a Jeep, picks it up immediately, and just turns tails and run, while Hatsawat comes under fire from Empty, who is able to spot them from inside the building.
Well, Hatsawat immediately retreats back to safety. Luckily, he wasn't knocked down. If not, it would take a little bit more work for his teammates to pick him up. But anyway, T5 right now, yes, they are at the top of the leaderboard, but they got to be careful, because there's still enough games for them to be caught onto, so they cannot be complacent with where they are.
Indeed, they can't. Exoclan, though, they have managed to secure a building here, so at least they have a base now, should they decide to try to continue to receive fire from Teraton 5. But it seems like Teraton is also a bit on the move. I see Hawat already getting himself on a car, attack all around on a convoy as well, moving up into the island now. So they've just joined in with the rest of the squad on this northern side, just follow along where this river is flowing at the moment. Jankuwov just scanning around the side, I suppose. I don't know if they actually have picked up any strays on their side here. Equilucia is going to just pop up a little bit here. I'm not sure exactly towards whom, though. Can't quite see anyone on distance there. There's certainly Purple Mood being on the other side, though, so that's something they have to watch out for sure.
PMA, gotta watch out as well, because like what you always say, this is a double-edged sword depending on where they land. So far, based on the minimap, okay, we can see that there's one team, but we're unsure yet where they drop. Okay, they're almost reaching the edge of the map, so looks like they could drop around the area where UV is at.
Oh no, and again, you got PMA, you got Purple Mood over there. Oh, sorry, that's number 1 sitting over there, and you also got Tanawat and Hasanwat and the rest of Deraton 5 in the vicinity as well. UV is a little bit spread out, which could be well done for them if the circle lands on top. But could be potentially trouble if the circle starts to go away from them. PMA under fire right now, coming from the opposite side. I think that's going to be from UV's end, though, because I see a couple of members of them still on the view here from the drone cam. SST as well, moving up in a position where NGE is set up in back. Probably felt a lot of that pressure, decided he's going to get the heck out of Dodge and gives them a slip.
Oh yeah, definitely not interested to take that 1v4 fight. So you just let it go for now, and yeah, I think that's the right move to do. And at the same time, his timing was just on point there. It happened just before SST happened to arrive at the hilltop, so that was a-okay. He'll survive for now.
Yeah, they'll certainly, as long as they keep out of trouble, that's the most important thing right now. But expecting this middle phase again be very chaotic, or rather it has potential to be extremely chaotic, as we've seen over the last few days here. Area 310 has already spotted Deadly Strike off in the distance there, but don't really have the range, I think, to catch them, even though an SKS is in the hand of Wello. They're still attempting to ping onto them, but Deadly Strike is under pressure from another squad just to the north of them, and that's actually tying up all their focus right now.
Ooh, Trick now just playing, just scouting out his opponent, but okay, this ledge is going to be pretty tricky because of how rough the terrain is, but it looks like Jaxi is just going to crash in. He's going to go past by, shots fired to Jaxi, 50% of health still survives. But no, not for long.
Not for long until Hakai gets the last laugh there. So he's going to be on the ground and oh, that's just savage there from Hakai. Just not only got a knockdown, but just eliminates him by running him over. No prisoners taken in this game for sure.
Yeah, splat there. And now, with that signal, it's going to be hard for them to get across because now they know that, okay, there's a lot of people right in front of them. They have no choice but to just win the fight head on.
Okay, so it was number one that was keeping SST under siege here, but Feven is already up in front, so is Imhak as well. Runex is actually caught on the outside, so Tay9 is going to try to go for the revive. Imhak got caught around the side as well, so Feven is going to be a little bit alone on this approach in front. In fact, he's going to be knocked down as well, as Exo Chimpy actually picks them off from a distance there, so a bit of a third-party situation, and oh no! Tay9 getting picked off as well while he was going for the revive, so SST gets stopped before they could even make any maneuvers there, and Cats probably just laughing all the way to the kill point bank.
Wow, this is arguably the fastest round so far. I mean, like, teams are dropping out like flies. We lost 2 teams and we're only on phase number 2. And team number 1 winning that fight, but only 1 kill that they managed to get. I believe it was a long range coming in from their opponent that actually stole it away.
Yeah, so Exo Clan, for now, this next circle is going to be closing in. UV still hold up in their positions here. Lucky for them, that circle still lands on top, so they can still afford to hold their own. The problem is that other teams are already racking up kill points around them pretty much, so they may be itching for a little bit of action. And speaking of action, PLM getting gate kept a little bit by AAA because most of their squad is still on the other side of the river here. So hopefully they're looking, in order for them to get past, they still need to try to take the fight to AAA first. In order to do so, Deadly Strike repositioning themselves, getting into a firefight right now with Gex. It looks like one of the members is down. Lucky J is going to go ahead and try to get a revive here, closing all the doors, all the windows, making sure there's no chance for Gex to send some grenades through. So I think Jason should be back up to speed.
Yeah, lucky for him. Lucky G is just around the corner to pick him up. So now they can reset. And since both teams are within the circle, I don't think there's any big reason for GEX to really crash into this compound. It's more of like just warning shots to tell them that, hey, we are in front of you, there's someone there, so don't try anything funny.
Yeah, don't try anything funny indeed. Because, like, again, one simple mistake here in this last chance and you're done, really. You know, you cannot afford to be taken out too early on here because the last phase of these fights are usually where you're going to be able to get those placement points, since they still can be so important in differentiating, you know, the men from the boys, as it were. Now, number 1, PMA, Exo Clan, and T5 now crowding around this top side of the circle, and it's looking like a town that's not big enough to hold all of them at once for sure. So I think a little bit of a culling might be in play for here. Looks like the E-Pika is being used by a team as well to try to position themselves over the circle, perhaps more towards the northern side, as it were. That blue from NG in the meantime, not really under pressure right now. It looks like it was one call that was using that E pickup. Now they're going to be dropping themselves straight into the middle of this fire, on the middle of this 2 squads here, but do find themselves a shack to at least work out of.
Yeah, the moment they land, okay, they're being shot at from multiple areas. Just look at this. All of them in this small shack. They have nowhere else to go. The moment they step out, multiple angles can shoot them.
I mean, it's a room that's big enough for a tea party, actually.
Well, oh yeah, true.
But I don't know if they brought the hot water or the kettle, though. They certainly got plenty of guns, so I guess they're definitely well equipped for that, for sure.
Or they can try to warm up the water with gunpowder. That's the best bet right now.
Like, is that even efficient, though? I mean, how much gunpowder do you need to boil water?
I've never boiled water with gunpowder before, so I don't know.
We're probably going to ask someone with experience with that, though. But yeah, nevertheless, they're going to be held up in that shack for quite a bit. A new generation spotting over the hills there. Looks like PLM's Thunder, Fluky, Borbos, and Thunder What managed to get across the hill there. Across the river. So now, having to be able to bypass AAA, this next circle still lands on top of where UV is. wow, these guys have really found themselves in a good spot. Unicorn Venom now using this opportunity to get some shots on the T5 as they attempted to try to get a bit of a maneuver to try to head them off in his next circle. They also are spying upon the shack that one call was holed up in as well. So Unicorn Venom now, they have the prime spot, been in the position really to try to keep control of this circle for the last few phases. But I think now is going to be high time for them to regroup a little bit because there's a lot of targets coming out on ground here that they can even cover.
Well, you mentioned about how lucky yoooo is. It does look like there's a chance that the next circle might not favor them, so they need to plan ahead right now where they want to go, how they're going to manage it, because there's so many teams inside the circle thanks to the emergency pickup item. And look at this, more teams are coming into the circle. Unicorn Venom tries to get another one, but not able to get a knockdown to number one.
Not able to get a knockdown, also they will be able to slip on by. PMA is also moving in onto Unicorn Venom's position here, but number one tries to collapse onto Terrorcon 5 here, so it looks like they are under siege as well. And in fact, they are also getting hit upon by one call as well. So it's a bit of a three-way fight here. Terrorcon 5 attempting to use this opportunity here to get some pot shots in, but it seems like they're not able to wipe out most of them. T5 now down to 2 people, which is Thunderdog and Pantapong right now, so they're not exactly looking in the best of health here, but one call in the meantime, also having lost 2 members as well, are also in the same kind of quandary that T5 is in.
Here we go. Oh, look at this. We got like a siege down here onto yoooo. Finally, yoooo is really being challenged, but this time by PMA.
Yeah, Sapawo is already down. We already have Teddy setting up, trying to get a frag grenade in. Chimpy in the meantime picking up one on the Deva, and then Gex also getting a good frag grenade on the PLM, so PLM might be a bit of trouble there, getting into a counter right at this point. The Unicorn Venom still hold up inside the warehouse here, but PMA is surrounded them on all sides. Mel sends out a smoke grenade. He still has a couple more in his pack with 2 frag grenades as well, but he gets a spray there. A Molotov is going to force him to move out of position, but Teddy takes a little bit too much damage, has a pullback. Snops is trying to get some shots through the window right now to flush out this last member, but still, he is not going to be budging anytime soon.
They find it difficult to get just that one guy. Oh my goodness, it looks almost like Smell is just like a Rambo at this point, but now they're rushing in, they're trying to find their target, they're looking around, but they can't seem to find where he is.
No, Sylphie and the other 2 members, the other remaining 2 members of UV actually pulled away while they were doing that. I think J-Ken was the only one who managed to survive that fight there, so he's the sole remaining member of UV, has to surf around the blue zone. PMA is taking control over the warehouse now and still has their full stack, so I would say that was a good fight for them.
Yeah, that is a good fight, and it was a clean one because they didn't lose anyone at all.
Yep,
but
EXO.
Yeah, okay. Oh wow, look at the amount of teams here.
Yep, NGE and Deadly Strike moving in onto each other at the same time, forcing them to bring out the frag grenades. Goni able to get onto E36, and it looks like they lost 2 members there. E36 has Hakai with a double frag there, will be able to take down 2 members of Deadly Strike. This is looking bad for DST because right now they need to get a return fire. They do find one in the form of Bang that blue taking some shots as well, and the frag grenade is already down to less than half his health. Another frag grenade is when he headed his way. NGE still has Hakai on the back line there, but he needs to come in for the support.
Oh, Hakai tries to spot out his opponent. Oh, that's very, very close there for Lucky G. Lucky for him, but okay, that it is. J-Can finishes off Lucky G, and that is it for PMA.
PMA finishes off EXO Clan, who attempted to try to overrun them after immediately winning the fight against UV, but he definitely were not prepared for the fact that PMA still had their full stack, so there was easy pickings for them. EXO Squad will be out. EXO Clan will be out in 10th place now for sure. So J-Can in the meantime just holding by the edge of the circle right now, getting some shots on the yoooo, who is alone in that shack right now, the last remaining main member I think from number 1, and certainly not in the best position there because you got PMA breathing down his neck just behind him as well, so he's under immense amount of pressure.
Oh, by Global Esports X has been eliminated at number 9, unfortunately. Been taken out by Ken. And now the northern side, yoooo, they know exactly where he is now because shots fire onto the shack. So that gives them a clue that someone's there. And right now, if they can land the molly into the shack, that's it.
If they could, then yeah, that's going to be it here. But PMA is in the prime position now to control the northern side. They just need to watch out for yoooo, who could potentially be an interloper, but then that last frag has already put him down very low. Teddy's going to be setting a Molotov in. Oh, just misses him a little bit. Still going to be spreading fire around the outside. Teddy actually lost one to fire there. What is he doing? What is he doing? Yoooo finishes off with a frag grenade popping off the top. There's the Teddy. Ends up actually on the ground instead of the other member of team number 1.
Well, I understood he was blinded by the stun grenade, but then again, if you're blinded, I don't know, man. Maybe it was kind of like an anticipation and all that, but yeah, kind of like nerves, but yeah, that just happened at the end of the day. But we gotta give credit to yoooo, who did that. He blinded, he had the molly, he tossed a nade, and he got that knockdown.
Well, London is trying to get his attention while he's letting his teammate move up in front, hopefully to try to get a revive. And Teddy has a good ping onto yoooo as well. Fight still breaking out here as Tree 10 under fire from NHE. Wesker is already down. Goni is already down. Dat Blue is attempting to be a third party as well, setting some frag grenades. Frags are going to coming out from NHE, and that actually knocks off Wello, and they will be able to eliminate the entirety of that Japanese team. So Rascal Jesters are already out in 8th place now. New House Esports not quite done yet, because they still want to try to take this fight to NGE.
And Circle moved away. So these two teams that we can see on screen right now, we need to find their way into the circle. New House Esports going up against their opponent, but looks like they have a split here. 2v4.
2v4 indeed, and Hawaii is going to try to get himself in the smoke now, keeping up the pressure onto NGE down by the south side. But you already got AAA getting themselves to the border of this next safe zone, so they will potentially be the ones trying to gatekeep the rest of them after this fight is already wrapped up. Lunde for PMA continuing to take some shots against Long K right now. It doesn't look like PMA is doing quite well. In fact, Lunde is the last remaining member, so it seems like yoooo is just absolutely killing it out there right now. Attack all around under fire from frag grenade. Another grenade just blowing up cars around him, but somehow J-Dye still survives.
Oh, that was a close one there for J-Dye. And now J-Dye, they still have the high ground advantage. Hakai tossing out utilities, tossing out the smoke just to block the vision of AAA. But then again, AAA, they are by the edge of the circle. They have a little bit more advantage. Vehicle will be used by Hakai and Co. They're going to go in on the AAA.
And then New House Esports actually wrap around the side there. So now AAA is the one that's being gate-kept a little bit. And with only the shack here and no vehicles left, they cannot get out of the zone. But NGE attempts to try to get through the gauntlet here. One knockdown. Dat Blue is also being taken out by Jack Wall. So Attack All Around still has the last laugh.
Oh, there it is. And now we're down to the top 6 teams. Long range coming in from Lunun. He's the last member of PMA. He has been holding on to the shack for the longest time. He has the right weapon. The MK12 can help him with those long range taps.
Yeah, and with a 6x scope, you think that he'll be able to catch a lot of kills, but so far, PMA has only been able to do 5. London hasn't got a single one yet. His flankers have already been taken out. Maybe by that fight from yoooo, we can't quite tell because it happened a little bit off screen. But AAA right now under fire from everyone else here. NHE is keeping them gate kept. The T5 as well, just firing onto the shack. And with no vehicles at all, I don't know what AAA can do right now except, accept the fate, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, hold on to this circle as long as possible. But even so, it's like, it's not going to be long. It's going to be hard for them to get out. Just look at the amount of vehicles. They had those vehicles, but all of them have been blown up. So there's no choice. The only choice is that they pop out the smoke, they try to get across, but even so, the chances are slim.
J-Dye still has 2 frag grenades though, so that could be an option for him if he can throw long enough to catch Long K as well as Tridoi on the other side, and hopefully can get rid of the vehicles. Jack Guab is also using the tree for cover right now and has to spend the last of his health kits to stay alive in this fight. Hwan is just keeping them trained. Jack Guab is finally been pinged down though, as UV also collapses onto AAA, finishes off Jack Guab as well. T5 Pantapong is also keeping an eye out. This next circle gets a little bit closer, and NHE has actually found themselves in the prime position now. All PMA's Lun, number 1's Mio, and J Ken, the only solo remaining members of their respective teams now, are just left outside the circle here.
Well, it does look like AAA, they are just going to deny themselves to the blue, playing a little bit of a healing game there, but he knows. If he goes out, he's going to be free point to another team, so he might as well just wait it out, use as many utilities as possible, and give himself up to the blue, and this will be the moment that they will be eliminated.
Yeah, so unfortunate. I mean, that frag grenade has completely ruined any chance for attack all around to get out of the spot. And NHE, you know, so smart from them as well to wrap around from the western side, because that effectively allowed them to cut off AAA. J-Ken tried to go for a run across, but T5 Pantapong actually finds him and stops him in his tracks. So that's going to be them out in 5th place. So 4 teams still remaining now. Newhouse Esports, T5, Teraton 5, Positive Mental Altitude, as well as team number 1 are still in the running. Only NHE, Newhouse Esports, has the full stack.
Ooh, and has the circle as well, so a good advantage to them for now. But can they defend this area? But looking at everything else, right, it is favoring them to get the chicken dinner.
I mean, just by numbers alone, NHE is like has a massive advantage. And number 1, PMA are all just solo members left. T5 is a pair, to be fair, but to be fair, we still have to deal with Tanadol, who's an amazing shot. But nevertheless, the odds are still stacked very much against this squad right now.
I guess right now it's more about waiting for the circle until the circle really forces them to move. But Patapong, he tries. Can he get it? It's going to be a clear shot right now. He just needs to control the recoil. All right, steady, and no clear sight yet.
No clear sight yet. He's going to reload instead. Try to pop up the tires of that buggy there to prevent him going out, but that's drawing a lot of fire from Newhouse Esports. As Chudoi is using this opportunity to try to catch one. Pantapong will not be able to do so though, as they have already dug themselves a little bit deeper in. 1706 is going to be moving up as well to try to head off where Miou is. Lun Lun still crawling on the ground right now. The blue zone closing in around him. He's already within the safe zone though, but you still have to move, no doubt, in the next part. The team number 1, Hoan, gets the kill to Miou now, so his long run so far that shack has finally come to an end.
Well, phase 8 it is, ladies and gentlemen, and the circle moves towards the middle. And Newhouse Esports still have absolute control of the circle, but it seems like they don't know that Lunan's behind them.
I know, right? So the thing is that he's the only person who can be the spoiler right now, and actually is just focusing more their attention on the T5, which is kind of warranted given that Tanadol has they are literally the leaderboard right now, and Newhouse Esports looking for an opportunity to kill them off, and with Lun Lun being alone, that should be an easy pick. And unfortunately, Pantapong takes out Long Day from a distance, taking out his building as well, and Lun Lun getting into the mix, knocks out finally, he also gets a knocked out of Team 13. This is looking really bad for HE. They started with a full stack. Now they're just down to 1.
Oh, they didn't know Lun Lun was behind there. Now Lun Lun is going to take this advantage. He's going to get 2 kills back to back. And right now, the tides have turned. Energy, only 1 player left.
Energy's only 1 player left. Lunan's just cleaning up the map now. It's finishing off 1, finishing off 2. There is going to be Hoan with the Molotov on the Tanadol. So Pantapong's the last one steady. Hoan the last one steady for Lun yet again, picking up the kills one after another. So now it's down to the wire. T5 or PMA. Lun now moving on with the AUG.
1v1.
Head against
Who got it?
Got the kill there. PMA. Positive medal.
Lun!
Chicken dinner.
Whoa, Lun, the hero of PMA. He held his ground well. A lot of discipline shown by Lun, and he got the chicken dinner for PMA. Very well deserved.
Wow. I mean, man, the thing was that, again, NHE was in position to, in the perfect position to defend and actually control the circle. Just didn't really, like I said, didn't see or didn't realize that Lun was just lurking behind, biding his time, waiting for the right moment to strike. And Whiter was so tied up by trying to take on Pantapong as well as Tanadol, he just comes in the back, sweeps them up, and just completely decimated the entire squad.
If only they knew somehow that Lun was behind it would be a totally different story. But the fact that all 4 of them was putting focus on the T5, nobody knew that Lun was there.
Nobody was paying attention to him. I mean, I suppose they knew that, there's at least one more lurker hiding around, but then again, they were so focused on the 2 that was inside the shack that they just completely forgot about covering their backs there. So I think like Lun just low-key took a huge gamble by just moving up, but just paid off so well for him. And just getting those those kills there. I mean, that's fantastic here for PMA. I mean, what a clutch.
Yeah,
clutch.
that is arguably the play of the day. Arguably. We can put that up in the Hall of Fame, alright? So far, that has to be one of it. Lun. I mean, just look at the reaction of the players when we saw the player cam. It's like they were at disbelief that how they got that chicken dinner.
Because remember, they actually tried to gank Unicorn Venom. Lost two of their members, so Lunu was just basically the last one standing. He had to survive, up until the final phase there. So he just kept quiet. He just kept completely quiet, let the other two teams fight. And I guess on New House Esports' part, they probably expected that the team that still had the pair going on was probably the one that will be the biggest threat. So that's why they were just focused on that direction. So that just made it perfect for Lunu's assault, because again they all had their backs turned to him. He was holed up inside the building, kept so quiet that no one from NHE was paying attention to that direction, and just the timing was just perfect there.
Can you imagine? He basically played the solo game when we still had 7 teams left to clutch out that chicken dinner. That was insane. I mean, Lun.
Everyone else was playing squads. He was only playing solo.
Yeah. He got into the wrong game mode. Yeah.
To be fair, there were also other who was solo as well. We had still 5 teams in the running, and 3 of them were having solo players in that final phase. So number one's yoooo as well had plenty of mileage for his game. I mean, just being able to eliminate a whole squad by himself there onto PMA, that actually was what caused Lunu to be the sole survivor in that final phase. But then again, just by being in a clutch, now they're 10 points richer. So wow, I mean, PMA might just have made a case for themselves for the grand finals by just that one spell swoop.
Yeah, you know what? To PMA, I'm going to give a PSA. Give Lun a raise. He deserves a raise for that.
He deserves a bonus. He deserves a bonus for sure. I mean, man, they're definitely going to be celebrating a lot tonight here, because that was an amazing effort there from the team. So let's see, we're going to be tabulating the final scores here. We'll be able to get a picture of where these teams stand after day one, but so far, 5 rounds already played. We're already at a halfway point now for the last chance qualifiers. I mean, what's your impression so far?
I mean, so far we can see that there's, at first it was like a lot of teams like to play chill, slow pacey, but then when it came to the second half of the day, everyone just tuned up the pace. It was really messy fights all around. Especially when it came to the fourth phase of the circle, you still see a lot of players still alive, and that's where everyone was just bang, bang, bang. Everyone was just crashing into each other.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit less about. I think the games in general have been less about securing high tier loot compared to everyone else, but just more about positioning and maneuvering. And you can see even with attack all around, having lost all the vehicles, how critical it is to have the option to maneuver around even in the final phase. And I think a lot of teams now are starting to make full use of utilities like the emergency pickup.
Wow, apa ini? Wih, pas level 2 keren juga. Bisa dibuat ini. Mantap. Hmm, 800 masih lama. Kita main arcade dulu aja ya. Aduh, mesti
这不是你电脑吗？这不是你电脑吗？哦，对对。
kesepian Pak. jelas kalau dari situ. Nah, itu ini menang kita. Openg. ulasannya nanti disambung lagi.